show. Rise above the noise. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? That's the song. Osumbo is the song. Tego Sisters on this one, starting us off to a bright morning. Welcome to Thursday, March 20, 2025. What can anyone give in exchange for their soul? That's the big question. What do you have that's more valuable to you? What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? Isn't it amazing that of all the things that we manage to acquire, nothing really satisfies our souls? You get the latest of one thing and the next day is outdated. Nothing can really satisfy the soul. You can have the whole world and still not be satisfied. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it. Here's Christ speaking to his disciples saying, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up the cross and follow me. So it's not just a great song. It's not just an exciting song to dance to start your morning with. But it's a careful reminder also that if you have him in your corner and he's valuable to you, that you need to do something. You must deny yourself and take up your cross and the most important thing, and follow him. So who are you following this morning? Whose cross are you carrying? What is more valuable to you? Is it your assets, the people around you, the name you have, your certificates? Or you have something that is above this world? Think about it carefully as you go about your work. And the answers to these questions should inform how you go about your duties for the day. Welcome to 97.3 Citi FM. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. My name is Caleb Kuda. So much to do today. We'll be jumping to the newspaper review shortly. Brought to you by Fidelity Bank, Total Excellium and Piva Beverages. From the dreams of youth to the ambitions of adulthood, wherever you are on your journey, whether you're starting a career, building a family, growing a business, or planning your future, we're here for your journey. Every goal deserves the chance to flourish. And with hard work, dedication, and a strong belief in yourself, the seed of greatness is within reach. So trust in the journey and understand that Fidelity Bank is with you every step of the way. Together, let's turn your dreams into reality. We're here for your journey. Believe with us. Now, have you heard about the incredible benefits of Excellium from Total Energies? Let me tell you more about this premium fuel. Total Energies introduces Excellium new formula, additive enriched fuel with powerful 3-in-1 action. Cleanse your engine, extends its life, lowers your fuel consumption. And thanks to the cumulative effect of its anti-corrosion, anti-wear, and detergent additives, Excellium new formula lowers your vehicle's fuel consumption while reducing CO2 emissions. You will drive sad. Experience the difference with Total Excellium. Total Energy Excellium's new formula. Choose Excellium, choose quality. Now, if you're looking for a best of flavor in every sip, discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink. It's packed with recognized citrus flavor. And the Piva cocktail fruit drink, it gives you this exotic taste of the tropics, Try the grapefruit tree, you will love it. And then we have the Piva Tangy. Oh my god, best with tangerine flavor. A wide range of options to choose from: Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available at your local store. Call us 0550-032-231. Piva Beverages is a taste you will love.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink, packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink, and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you'd love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
Oh, jump on now. Go, the go. Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car, they run like electric car. No, it's so...
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I'll go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small.
The go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
My body, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh, you go work, but you know it's out in your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, oh, cause you know it's out in your side. And when you dream, no say I live for you. And when you hustle every day, many wanna go. Anything you do, I live for you. Many want. If I believe I'm in your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. Oh, if I know I dey your side, fidelity.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
When you go to university, lecturer is your teacher. When you go to work in court, government is your teacher. I say when you go to school, teacher is your teacher.
Ambule says, teacher. Now, when you come to the studio, I have my teachers. Bernard Ambule is here, Godfred Akotobuating, Akotobuafo. You see, when you get your teacher's name wrong, you get negative too. Bernard, good morning.
Good morning, Caleb.
Good morning, Godfred.
Good morning.
This morning, we're waking up to the story of Richard Jakpa and 20 armed men raiding the home of former BOG governor Dr. Addison.
Indeed,
Looking for what?
The latest version of that is that the minority leader has visited the former BOG governor.
My goodness.
And they've taken a photo on his couch.
Yeah.
And I don't even understand what's going on with this. It's just unbelievable. The kinds of things happening in our country.
So they are looking for a vault in his home?
That was a report we got. This story came last night. National Security raids former BOG governor Dr. Addison's home. And then there's so many other stories. I think we should start online.
Yes.
Start online.
Yeah, so Apenyo Markin visits former BOG governor after home raid. Now, Tor, Ghana Water, STC, others, SOEs consistently making losses. Yeah. This is Singapore speaking to you on Point of View last night.
10 largest SOEs are all loss-making.
8 out of 10.
8 of our top 10 in size. Mm-hmm. Only 2 of them make profit.
Charlie, what's going on here?
That's not news.
It's become worse.
Yeah,
but we'll see how it goes. Continue.
And all energy SOEs are struggling except Bui Power and Ghana Gas. This is Cigar Boss again. Reduce operational costs and diversify revenue. Still, Dr. Kpesa White and COP Tiwa Dodankwa reassigned as technical advisor to Interior Minister. We understand DCOP Lydia Yako Donko has been appointed a new CID boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, still on Channel 1 News, there are a number of education stories. Free SHS policies undermined by politics and poor planning. So this was at the Achimota event at Daibu
last night. Yeah.
Still on that, we have free SHS. Capable parents should pay.
That's all.
This is Professor Stephen Adey. And then Nisan Kuma says Ghana's education system is too politicized. So those are 3 stories from the education side.
Yeah.
And then Gold Board bill laid in Parliament. And then defying Supreme Court order in Akwete MP's attempted arrest is shocking. Tia Ibua was on our news yesterday. Now, if you go to the City Newsroom itself, a couple of stories. The government to convert fuel stations into EV charging centers.
Okay.
That's with the energy minister. Ghana card, NIA condemns alleged extortion by staff. That's also a troubling one there. And then lots of stories from the Pesa White interview. Mahama won't hesitate to sack heads of non-performing SOEs. This is Pesa White. There's also Ahmed Swali's murder suspect has never been on the run, according to the lawyer. So there's a number of stories on this. Tua Ibo has been talking about the reason why there's been no persecution, not enough evidence. And a man has been arrested by a Medina court as the main suspect in the murder of Ahmed Swali.
There's the story of the deployment of unarmed water guards, and Nito is warning that deploying them could endanger lives as the illegal miners are often armed themselves.
So the other group of stories is Galamsey. So
yes.
The newspapers pick the Galamsey
more on
stories.
the Galamsey, correct.
So Kickoff can give us some of those.
Yeah, so let me take to the front page of the Daily Graphic. Government revokes small-scale mining licenses. Action affects permits issued after December 7. MPA boss vows to flash out illegal fuel traders. Transport Ministry inaugurates committee to review Okada operations. And the Labour Ministry and the YEA launch Work Abroad program.
Yeah.
Now, if
the Chronicle also has the Galamsey, all post December 7 small-scale licenses revoked. The two relevant ministers are on the front page. Ahmed Swali killing, why Osu Kranting has been charged. That's on pages 2 and 3. NPP has made Ghanaians poorer, according to Eric Opoku.
Okay.
And then Ahanta Himakrom chief pleads with government for health facilities. Those are all in the Chronicle.
If you go to the front page of the Daily Guide, Ahmed Swali murder court remands suspect. Also, big story of the NACOC arresting a Nigerian over 2 million drug bust. The Anas versus Canada Japan story makes it here. IGP reconstitutes police board. On the front page of the paper is COP Mameya Tiwa Adudankwa.
The Ghanaian Times, Wong Galamsey intensifies 60 excavators seize small-scale mining licenses issued after December 7 revoked. This is Amakofi Bua. Also, MPA boss vows to flash out illegal fuel traders. And then Prof. Budi says, let court determine allegations against SML. And Minister outlines measures to improve water supply. That's Mr. Ajay Kenneth on the back page. Meanwhile, ECG pilots 200 new smart meters at Siame on the back page of the Times.
Daily Post, Ajua Safo explains how Akufo-Addo was covering corruption. The shake-up in the police service management board also makes the front page of the paper.
The Daily Democrat, Amabua orders overhaul of small-scale mining. So as I said, the Galamsey story found its way into the papers.
Yeah.
MPA vows to flash out illegal fuel traders. I wonder why there's so many illegal things. Illegal miners, illegal fuel traders. Government launches Work Abroad program. You're interested in that? The Daybreak, they are people that got the raid. Jakpa raids ex-BOG governor's home.
Yeah.
And then Tiwa reassigned to Interior Ministry hours after she was named as Director of Research.
Shortly after.
And then there's a very strange story. MPP to suspend Chairman Sabunsu.
It's a question, eh?
There's no question mark. Actually, there's a question over Ashanti region election report. Why would anybody think of doing this? You know, I mean, whatever.
The front page of the BNFT finally from me. National ID system yet to realize full potential. There's a feature here. Do we need a national AI policy?
There's actually a very important policy that was launched that didn't get the front pages. Past consumer protection law, Justice Doche entreats government. Now, this was yesterday, when the World Consumer Rights Day was launched, and then there was a report on consumer protection in Ghana. I'll give you some highlights of that. So CATS International launched that report. Very, very important program. It didn't get to the front pages, but found its way into the center spread.
Okay.
You can start online then from the
we haven't given up on you, Mahama to Black Stars. He visited them yesterday. There's still a lot on Galamsey as well. The armed operative storming former BOG governor's home is also here. Minority visiting is here as well. Kwacho Fusu says 78 million Ghana cedis allocation to his office is inadequate. We will reduce fares if fuel price drop to 12 Ghana cedis per liter. And they're also saying that they don't only price their fares based on fuel, but spare parts, poor roads, and all those things. We don't only look at fuel prices, spare parts, taxes also matter in fare decisions. Let me take you abroad quickly. Trump suggests U.S. could run Ukraine's power plants. Will Trump's tariff war spark big bang reforms in China? China executed 4 Canadians for drug crimes, Ottawa says. And it's him. Mother sports son deported from U.S. in mega prison footage. This is BBC, CNN very quickly. And Trump says he's had a very good call with Zelensky. And then there is more also. But let's jump into the details.
This is what I'm going to do.
Yes.
There are about 5 main themes here. There's the national security aid on the governor.
Former governor.
There's a lot of stories about Galamsey.
Yeah.
Then there are a number of stories around security,
education, SOEs,
and then the free SHS, and the SOEs.
Yeah.
So I'll start with Richard Jakpa. 20 armed men raid former BOG Governor Dr. Annette Addison's home. This is channel1news.com. Armed men numbering about 20, led by Richard Jakpa, Director of Special Operations at the National Security Secretariat, have raided the private residence of the former governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison. The raid, which took place on Wednesday, 19 March in the morning, occurred at the Roman Ridge property in Accra. Dr. Addison was at home when the heavily armed men, some in balaclavas, wielding AK-47 semi-automatic rifles, showed up to conduct a search. Assassin News was the news house that broke this. Gathered that the team from National Security, when they first arrived, immediately disabled the CCTV system at the property. They then demanded that Dr. Addison lead them to the quote votes unquote in his house. According to Asasi Radio, the former governor told them that he had no vote or any such thing in his house. This is not deterred the security personnel who, according to eyewitnesses, went ahead to allegedly ransack the house. No votes were found and no large amounts of cash were found, according to Assassin News sources. After their search yielded no results, they decided to take the CCTV monitor and control unit away.
Charlie.
Dr. Addison, his wife, and the entire family are said to be traumatized after the raid. A close associate of the Addison family told Assassin News.
Yeah, there are photos of the raided home where you see the CCTV and the control monitors all, handled.
So let me give you a background. This is at least the second time Mr. Jakpa has led a group of armed men to raid the home of high-profile former appointees of the Eswa Akufo-Addo administration since President Mahama took office. Now, the last one was Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, Ghana's longest-serving finance minister, who was the first such high-profile person whose home in Laboni was raided by over 15 armed men, led by the same Mr. Jakpa. Now, still on that angle, Apenyo Markin visits Dr. Addison. This is citynewsroom.com. Minority leader Alexander Apenyo Markin visited the home of the former governor. I supposed to solidarize with him. He expressed outrage at the raid and consoled the BOG governor, promising to seek answers from government. So expect some showdown in parliament today. And then the background of the story is given.
Okay.
So I will stay with security for you with the reconstituted police board. If you go to page 6 of the daily guide, they give us details of some of the people who have been moved around. So a statement issued on Wednesday, March 19, 2025, and signed by Assistant Commissioner of Police Director Public Affairs Grace Ansah Krofi, revealed a total of 31 officers appointed to join the new management board. Notable among them include COP Mrs. Mamiya Tiwa Adodankwa as DG of Research and Planning. That has been changed.
That didn't last for too long.
Yes. Before the reshuffle, she had returned from Iyoko. COP Mr. Paul Manley Awini, who was formerly DG of Admin, has been reassigned to head the service workshop. In Accra, COP Mr. Daniel Kwame Free, DG of Private Security Organizations, and Dr. Ernest Kwabno Wusu as Director General of Services. Now, this COP Lydia Yakudonko has been named the boss of the Criminal Investigations Department. And so then, until this new appointment, she was the DG of
Safety and Security.
No, of the Professional Standards Bureau.
Really?
Of the Ghana Police Service.
Well, we also told that she served as the Safety and Security Head of the Ghana Football Association.
City, yes.
Well, that's a minor role.
That's a role she's still and also she's the CEO of Police Ladies Football Club.
She's rising very fast. Now, we're told that these changes are part of a broader restructuring initiative within the Ghana Police Service. Now, the Tiwa update is that COP Tiwa Adodankwa from Iyoko
technical advisor
to head of
Minister.
research and now technical advisor. Very interesting role. I don't know which one is higher though. She's been reassigned to the Ministry of Interior, where she will serve as a technical advisor to the Minister of Interior. The directive was issued by the President and takes effect immediately. Now, this comes just hours after she was appointed DG of Research and Planning at the Ghana Police Service by the IGP. So, President Mahama, in a statement signed by Callistus Mahama, Secretary to the President, commended COP Adodankwa for her exceptional dedication, professionalism, and invaluable service to the nation, and expressed confidence in her ability to excel in a new role.
Okay.
So that's on the secret. Then finally, Boku was also a topic.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you a sort of latest angle to the Boku story. I'll use my journal line. They use guns, stones, and metals to beat us. You know, yesterday, this matter came out in Parliament. The MP for Boku Central complained about what happened to civilians there.
Yeah.
Now, this story says that residents of Boku in Upper East have given harrowing accounts of military brutality, detailing how soldiers used guns, stones, and metallic objects to assault them during a late-night raid. On the night of Tuesday, March 18, the military stormed civilian homes in Boku, ransacking properties and unleashing severe violence on residents. The raid is believed to have been in response to the killing of the Ghana Armed Forces officer by an unidentified gunman on Monday, March 17. Reports indicate that the officer was ambushed and fatally shot while walking on foot. My worry is, you know, when a soldier is killed, it's a failure of intelligence. And in the kind of response they give to beating people shows that they really don't have evidence of who did it. Because to indiscriminately go to people's house and just start beating them on the basis that one of your colleagues has been killed, it's really, really sad.
Bernard, they were beating women too. One of them
for me,
recounted how...
for me, the new leadership of the armed forces needs to really stamp its authority on this type of thing. Because if somebody has been killed, we are in a country that operates by laws. So you don't go and just start beating people on the basis that one of your men has been killed. Okay, because we've been told it was a raid. So where does the intelligence lead? Who was behind the raid? Which group did it? Do you understand? If the military police can go and arrest and hand over to the civilian police or something, but to just go and start beating people, I mean, this is so wrong. Yeah. The president is going to the northern region today. I believe he will also go to the Upper East region. He needs to deal with this issue very seriously because it's getting out of hand and it's not really correct. Well,
Tianya Boy is saying, still around crime-related stories, before we get to Galamsey, there was insufficient evidence for prosecution. The former Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tianya Boy has provided insight into the hurdles faced during the early stages of the investigation into the murder of investigative journalist Ahmed Swale. He was speaking on Channel 1 Newsroom on Wednesday last night, where he disclosed that during his tenure, the Attorney General's office found insufficient evidence to prosecute any suspects linked to the case. Now, the lawyer of the suspect, he is saying that he has never been on the run. All these are on Citi Newsroom and Channel 1 News.
Don't forget that the Medina District Court remanded the 35-year-old suspect Daniel Cranting, who has been provisionally charged with murder at the court where committal proceedings are expected to take place. Quite interesting is happening just a day after Anas's victory over Kennedy Japan. I don't know if there's any correlation there. But let's come to Galamsey.
On the front page of the Daily Graphic, government revokes small-scale mining licenses. A story by Timothy Nyang, where he reports that the government has revoked all small-scale mining licenses that were issued by the previous government after December 2024. After December 7, 2024, this is because the process leading to their issuance were rushed and as such did not follow due procedure. In addition to the revocation of licenses issued after December 7 last year, the minister also said a technical committee had been set up to review all small-scale mining licenses in the country. Now, the minister also on page 29 of the same Daily Graphic has revealed that 7 out of the 9 forest reserves that were taken over by illegal miners have been reclaimed. At least 60 excavators used by the illegal miners were confiscated in the course of the operations and swoops in the affected forest reserves. The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofi Boa, who disclosed this, said a crack team of security personnel made up of the military and police with support from the rapid response team of the Forestry Commission reclaimed the 7 forest reserves after sustained operations over the past month. Mr. Boa added that as part of measures to ensure that illegal mining was controlled, restrictions will be put on the importation, use, and monitoring of excavators. He said it was worrying that while efforts were being made to fight illegal mining, more excavators were still being imported into the country. Now, Ben, listen to this one. He said in 2024 alone, about $6.2 billion worth of excavators, billion or million worth of excavators were brought into the country, ranking it as the 3rd most imported item in the country.
This is crazy. He's also demanding fast-track court to punish illegal miners. This is the same Dr. Amakofi Boa called for establishment of a fast-track court dedicated to swiftly prosecuting individuals who engage in illegal mining and environmental destruction. He was speaking on Joy News yesterday and emphasized that the current legal process is too slow to deter offenders and urgent measures need to be undertaking to protect Ghana's water bodies.
You
have the fuel story.
Okay.
Yeah, so the NPA boss is vowing to flush out illegal fuel operators. And this is in a number of newspapers. Maybe you can give me the one you have.
Okay, I have it on page 69 of the Daily Graphic, where the chief executive of the National Petroleum Authority, Godwin Kujo Tamaklo, says his outfit will not spare groups or individuals engaging in illegal
I have it here. So now, according to him, the authority will be tough with them. Its mandate to ensure that the transportation and sale of fuel was carried out lawfully. Now, he was speaking at a meeting with Bono Regional RECSEC during his familiarization tour of the region. The MPA boss enumerated fuel smuggling, selling of adulterated fuels, operating with an expired license, and operating without proper safety regulations as some of the illegal issues. Now, let me just say something. Galamsey, fuel, medicine, FDA, our regulators need to do much, much better. There's a lot of people who want to cut corners in Ghana, and our regulators must be ahead of the curve.
Correct.
Too much criminality. Now, let's do two things. Free SHS came up for big discussion yesterday.
Last night,
at a forum. And
Achimota speaks.
So yesterday, education policy expert Akwesi Adaibuahene raised concern about the implementation of free SHS, attributing stakeholder unease to inadequate consultation and political motivation. He was speaking at Achimota Speaks yesterday. He acknowledged the policy's objective of equipping youth with global competencies and labor market readiness. However, he noted that its development and execution had faced significant hurdles. Speaking at the same program, Professor Stephen Ade basically said that people who can pay should be made to pay.
Exactly.
Re-echoing what Otunfo said 2 days ago. And then Esan Nankuma, who is a lawyer, also basically said there's been too much politicization. Professor Ade proposed that parents who can afford to pay for their children's SHS should be allowed to do so.
Thank you.
Enabling the government to focus resources on improving infrastructure in underprivileged areas. So this is something we would look
Very
at.
Big,
Two quick stories from the BNFT, Bernard. It looks like this conversation we had on the power of alumni has grown wings. You'll find it on, there's a feature by Dr. Mary Ashon on page 7 of the BNFT that's titled The Power of Alumni Giving, How High School Alumni Are Transforming Education. You can get it and
Wonderful.
read. Now, if you go
BNFT.
to page 8 of the same newspaper, over 50% of consumers unaware of their rights, according to a report by CATS International, a research and advocacy think tank. The findings show that 55% of telecom users, 55% of banking customers, and 76% of e-commerce shoppers are unaware of redress mechanisms, while over a quarter of electricity consumers, that's 26%, have no knowledge of their rights.
Well, this was yesterday, and also Justice Doche is entreating government to pass a consumer protection law. According to him, the government must work towards the passage of a comprehensive consumer protection law this year. I think if I have time, I'll go through the state of consumer rights in Ghana report for you. Finally, Central Region records over 3,000 suspected cholera cases.
Oh no.
And guess what? 19 people have died.
No way.
So many issues in Ghana.
No way.
More than 3,000 suspected cholera cases have been reported in the Central Region, with 260 confirmed so far. 19 people have died. This was revealed by Regional Director of Health, Dr. Agnes Achiama Amnane, during the region's annual health sector performance review. She mentioned that 4 health workers were infected during the outbreak in late 2024, and then she admitted that the recent outbreaks have put pressure on the region's health system, but assures that efforts are underway to improve monitoring.
I will wrap up from around the world. I'll start on the continent on page 5 of the Daily Graphic. But there's something happening in River State,
Nigeria. What's happening?
What's happening? So a state of emergency has been declared in River State by President Bola Tinubu. He declared this on Tuesday in a television broadcast. He said he had received security reports in the last 2 days of disturbing incidents of vandalization of pipelines by some militants without the governor taking any action to curtail them. Now, on the same page, close to 70,000 South Africans have expressed interest in moving to the U.S. following Washington's offer to resettle people from the country's Afrikaner community. A business group has...
There's a story you wanted highlights on. Labour Ministry Year Launch Work Abroad program. Maybe during the show, Papa, I'll give you some highlights of this. But this is to create a legal pathway for artisans and workers in hospitality, transportation, agric, and construction sectors to work abroad.
Okay, we'll see about it. That will be all for the news review. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Godfred.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Getting into the City Business News shortly with Neil Latte and EcoBank is proud to be associated with the bulletin. A segment is coming your way, sponsored by EcoBank. EcoBank says fraudulent activities are on the increase. Scammers continue to target customers of various banks through phone calls, text messages, emails to get customers to divulge sensitive information such as password, PIN, card information, CVV, OTP, and other personal details. And the whole ultimate game is to steal your money. So be extra vigilant. Please do not divulge any of such information to any stranger. If you feel in doubt or you are insecure, when you are in doubt or you feel insecure, please call EcoBank Contact Center on 0800 003225 as a toll-free line. Your bank account can only be updated at an EcoBank branch, and your mobile app can only be upgraded at the App Store or Play Store. So whatever offer any stranger makes you on phone, please ignore it. We welcome Neil Latte for the Citi Business News. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning, Caleb. Hello there. Welcome. This is the breakfast edition of Citi Business News here on 97.3 Citi FM, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil, and EcoBank. Coming up, freight forwarders sue shipping lines again, this time seeking a default judgment over unauthorized port charges and illegal demurrage fees. Also, poor customer service, long waiting times, and high deductions top challenges in Ghana's banking and financial services sector. Later, State Interest and Governance Authority proposes a review of expenditure of SOEs amid rising losses. We hear from SIGA boss Professor Michael Pesawhite. Thanks for your time this Thursday morning. I am Neil Latte with the details. The Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders in Tema has filed for a default judgment against several shipping lines. The legal move taken by the Institute's chairman, John Mante, comes after the shipping lines failed to submit a defense following their conditional appearance in court in late January this year. The lawsuit challenges what the Institute describes as unauthorized charges imposed by these shipping lines and agents, including container administrative fees, processing fees, and demurrage charges applied on weekends and holidays. My colleague Daniel Odro-Mensah has the rest of the story.
The case has drawn widespread attention within the shipping and logistics industry, with stakeholders voicing concerns over what they see as excessive and unjustified fees at the country's ports. The chairman is seeking a court order to declare these charges illegal, mandate refunds to affected parties, and prevent shipping lines from imposing similar fees in the future. Legal experts suggest that if the court grants the default judgment, it could set a precedent for future disputes between freight forwarders and shipping companies regarding arbitrary port charges. Industry players are closely monitoring the proceedings as the court prepares to rule on the default judgment application in the coming weeks. It will be recalled that the Institute took legal action against the Ship Owners and Agents Association and affiliated shipping agencies over alleged unauthorized charges and rising costs at the ports. The freight forwarders accused the shipping agencies of imposing unapproved fees. In a writ filed on January 2025 and cited by Citi Business News, the freight forwarders argued that these charges were introduced unlawfully despite directives from the Ghana Shippers Authority to halt extra port charges.
Daniel Odro-Mensah starting us off with that report. Away from that, and poor customer service remains a pressing challenge in Ghana's banking and financial services sector. This according to a new research report on the state of the Ghanaian consumer by CATS International, which says that with close to 40% of respondents citing poor customer service as a major concern, coupled with long wait times and high charges or deductions. There is more in this report by Daniel Sakiti.
Despite Ghana's high banking penetration, with over 97% of respondents owning a bank account, service-related frustrations persist. While more than half rate their in-branch experience as good and 48 express satisfaction with transaction speed, delays and other challenges remain widespread. Frequent service challenges are reported by over 34% of consumers, with an additional 46% experiencing them occasionally. Consumer protection and regulatory awareness also appear to be weak. Although over 60% of respondents know the regulator of the banking sector, nearly 40% remain unaware. More than half do not know how to seek redress for banking sector concerns, and only 22% have ever lodged a complaint. Among those who did, over 63% had their issues fully resolved, while the others received partial or no resolution. Additionally, 25% of respondents have encountered wrongful debits, underscoring growing concerns over security and transaction accuracy. With overall consumer satisfaction in the sector remaining neutral, CAT's international findings stresses the urgent need for improved service delivery, better customer care, and lower banking costs. Consumers identified high fees and poor customer service as priority areas for reforms, highlighting the demand for a more responsive and efficient banking experience in Ghana.
That was a report filed by my colleague Daniel Sakite to the agric sector now, and stakeholders there are urging the government to establish a dedicated agricultural fund to drive growth within the sector. They argue that despite its role as a key driver of economic growth, the sector continues to face challenges due to inadequate attention and the insufficient allocation of only 1.5 billion Ghana cedis from the 2025 budget for the agricultural economic transformation agenda. Here is Chief Executive Officer of Agritech Limited, Daniel Akwe.
We have developed means of funding education. There's a formula that puts money into Get Fund. We can use similar formula to put money into agricultural fund. And that is basic. So when we talk of agricultural funding, and I keep saying, government talk about the Exim Bank, the loan, concessionary loan. That is not what I am talking about. I'm talking about critical infrastructure. And that critical infrastructure, irrigation, you cannot go for concessionary loan from Exim Bank to go and do irrigation, which costs millions of dollars. And that is where an agricultural fund can be used.
That's Daniel Akwe, Chief Executive Officer of Agritech Limited. Now, the State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, is pushing for a review of expenditure by state-owned enterprises. This comes as SOEs continue to strain the public purse, with many recording persistent losses, and President John Dramani Mahama recently warning of potential measures or closures to curb inefficiencies. SIGA's Director General, Professor Michael Pesawai, speaking in an interview with Bernard Avle on the point of view on Channel 1 TV, highlighted the need for fiscal discipline and stricter financial controls.
SOEs control quite a chunk of our entire GDP.
40%?
40%
value?
Yes, in terms of assets. And if these assets are actually creating more value, the economy will expand. It will mean more jobs, right? More opportunities.
Wow.
But you can see how they are basically drawing down, in terms of their ability to expand and grow so that job opportunities can be created. Expenses are a big suspect in many ways. We need to think of whether SOEs should be, as it were, have the free hand in engaging in what they call the corporate social responsibility. Because when you look at some of them quite closely, you will see that some of their expenditures are really outside of their core mandates, right? And also talk about whether some of the things that they spend on, like maybe expensive travels, for instance.
Professor Michael Pesawai is Director General of the State Interest and Governance Authority. You are still listening to the breakfast edition of Citi Business News with me, Ni Lati. Now, in a bid to reduce the cost and time of trading across West Africa, Trademark Africa, a leading aid for trade organization, has launched the Making Trade Work for Women in West Africa project in Ghana. The 4-year initiative, supported by the Canadian High Commission and CERSI, comes with a commitment of 20 million Canadian dollars aimed at enhancing the participation of women-led businesses in regional trade. Speaking at the launch in Accra, David Beer, CEO of Trademark Africa, explained that the project aligns with the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement and seeks to empower women in the private sector by improving market access.
We are delighted to be launching this program with the support of the Canadian government, 20 million Canadian dollars, and in partnership with the NGO Citi in order to make it easier for women to trade across borders. We believe that it is extremely important that trade benefits all parts of society. This project will focus on reducing gender-based discrimination at borders, working with border officials and traders. It will also enhance Ghana's integration into the AfCFTA and the ability of women to benefit from that. And we will work on improving regional value chains, in particular those that benefit women.
That was the CEO of Trademark Africa, David Beer. Now, on the forex market this morning, the dollar trading at 15 cedis 70 pesos, the British pound at 19 cedis 80 pesos, that of the euro going for 16 cedis 50 pesos. And that's it for the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil and EcoBank. You can visit our website, citynewsroom.com/business for more on our top stories. I am Ni Latte. Do have a good business day.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees. Mommy chop money. Cratchy, mommy rent. Emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town. More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got. Dial *770# for money emergencies and Chop Life.
For emergency access to your bank accounts, transfers, utility payments, loans, and more. Dial *770#. Bank on the go even without data with EcoBank's short code for digital banking. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Okay, it's 12:57 and Bernard Abekocher is in the building. Ready with Kickoff, proudly sponsored by Lesheho and Shell. The Lesheho Don't Come campaign has come to you because you deserve financial peace. Life comes with financial challenges, but with Lesheho, you don't have to face them alone. From now until April 30, 2025, we have reduced our interest rates just for you. Whether it's education, rent, or unexpected expenses, we've got the right loan to meet your needs. Simply WhatsApp or call Nana on 0270 040 799 0270 040 733. Let's make life easier together. Act now before the offer ends. T's and C's apply. Let's share whole. Let's improve life. So from planning date nights to making your kids happy with the latest toy and ice cream, they seem very small, but they make all the difference, creating lasting memories. Good times start at Shell, where you can fill up on more than just fuel. Fill up on love, laughter, sumptuous buys, and treats from our partner vendors. We've got them all right under our roof. While you enjoy yourself with your family and friends, your car can also get the love it deserves at the Shell service station and wash bay. One roof for everything. Visit Shell today. Shell, go well. Bernard Abekocher, good morning, man.
Yeah, good morning, Caleb.
I met someone recently who said, "Oh, I'm missing you. So I'm not near school now." I'm say, "Oh, the man." But I can't anything, so I don't know. Maybe you know.
A media guy.
He said you went to school together, so when you finish, you can think about it.
Which of the schools?
Yeah, let's kick off first.
Hello, welcome aboard. It's time for Kickoff. I am Bernard Abekoch, and this is 97.3 Citi FM. Coming up in the next 10 minutes.
It's not reasonable. It doesn't sit well with us for a team like Comoros to be beating us back to back. I don't understand. Honorable Haruna Idrisu's Steadfast team in Tamale can beat Comoros. Why not our national team?
It's match day -1 for Ghana's senior national team, the Black Stars, and ahead of that clash against Chad, there's been more reaction from Parliament yesterday. More coming up, plus we hear from the president of the land as well.
Before you start the qualifiers, let's put the AFCON debacle behind us, and let's look forward and know that we can redeem ourselves.
Well, I will also run you through some of the other results from the ongoing 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Many thanks to Zonda GH Shell. Shell, go well. And Shell, let's improve life. Let's start with the reactions ahead of Ghana's 2 games in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Our President of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is optimistic about the Black Stars' prospect of bouncing back from their disappointing failure to qualify for the 2025 AFCON by performing strongly in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Despite Ghana's inability to secure a spot in the 2025 AFCON set to take place later this year, President John Dramani Mahama remains confident that the Black Stars can overcome the setback and restore their pride through success in the upcoming World Cup qualifier.
It's dependent on you and the technical team and the management committee. We can come and play the football. We can make the resources available. We can come to the stadium and cheer you on. But eventually, the goals will come from these feet that are right here. And so, it takes sacrifice. It takes strength. We all like to watch you when you play for your teams, and we expect that you bring some of that dedication to the national team. Playing for the national team is not as lucrative as playing for your individual teams, but still that sense of pride and patriotism that your nation, has gone to the World Cup is something that is worth dying for. And so, before you start the qualifiers, let's put the AFCON debacle behind us, and let's look forward and know that we can redeem ourselves. I know that in the World Cup qualifiers, you're going to redeem yourselves.
Our Black Stars captain Jordan Ayew also had this to say after the president's address.
We wish the national team the very best, and we ask the technical team, the management team, and the executive committee of the National Football Association.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming and to show your support. Me and my teammates, we can assure you guys that we're ready for the battle, and we'll give our all. We know the first task is on Friday, and we'll make sure that we get the 3 points. We know we're in a difficult situation, but we'll make sure that we turn it around. And when I see you guys coming, I know that definitely Friday is going to be a positive result. So I want to thank you guys on behalf of my teammates. Thank everyone, and hopefully Friday we'll all be happy at the end of the game. Thank you.
All right, so sorry about the initial soundbite, but that's Jordan Ayew, the captain for the senior soccer team, the Black Stars of Ghana. Jordan has 4 goals in the World Cup qualifying series. Let's move to Parliament now. And Patrick Bowman, who's a member of Parliament for Kankwe Central, has expressed mixed feelings about the Black Stars' recent performances. While he's not impressed with their showings against some countries in the last few matches, he finds the loss to Comoros in recent times particularly baffling.
We wish the national team the very best, and we ask the technical team, the management team, and the executive committee of the National Football Association to put in everything that is required of them to ensure that we garner all the 6 points needed to cushion us enough. It's not reasonable. It doesn't sit well with us for a team like Comoros to be beating us back to back. I don't understand. Honorable Haruna Idrisu's Steadfast team in Tamale can beat Comoros. Why not our national team? So they need to be serious with the kind of players. And look at this game time they have in Europe. Bournemouth, Semenyo, Sulemana in Southampton, Partey is a regular at Arsenal, and Jordan Ayew at Leicester, Kudus at West Ham. They are all top-class players, but when they come here, we don't see the commitment from them. And that is what hurts a lot of Ghanaians.
MP for Tamale South and owner of Karela United, Haruna Idrisu, also charged the Black Stars to go all out and beat Chad at the upcoming World Cup qualifiers.
We have no excuse against Chad. Our reputation in football have waned over the years because of the indiscipline. I'm happy you have shared with me that you want to activate school sports and school competitive football. That is where talents are. And Mr. Speaker, today, if you are sending players to Europe, they are now looking for 14, 15, 18 years. In fact, even for Premier League, one may want to advise that, is that where you belong? Because you get these age players at that level, but the value is in 15, 16, 17. Look at the academies and how much right to play is making.
Well, Sports Minister Kofi Adams also told Parliament that the technical team has assured him of wins against Chad and Madagascar.
Mr. Speaker, the Black Stars technical team has assured my ministry that all necessary preparations have been made and that the players are in high spirit, ready to give their all for the nation. This commitment is evident in the call-up squad released by the head coach. Beyond the tactics and selection, the technical team is tasked with instilling a winning mentality in our players. We must restore pride in the Black Stars jersey and ensure that our national team once again becomes a force to be reckoned with in African and global football.
Away from the Sport and Recreation Minister, let's stay with Ghana's group. Ghana is in Group I. Well, Madagascar yesterday beat Central African Republic by 4-1, meaning Madagascar do have 10 points and are now top of the group. So Madagascar having 10 points, Comoros 9 points, Ghana 9 points, as well Mali have 5 points, Central African Republic 4 points, and Chad have no points in that space. So some other result from the World Cup qualifiers, and Eswatini played in a goalless draw with Cameroon. Tunisia beating Liberia by a 1-0. Later today is Mozambique up against Uganda at 1 p.m. Cape Verde versus Mauritius at 4 p.m. Malawi take on Namibia. Sierra Leone up against Guinea-Bissau. Zimbabwe versus Benin. Gambia are up against the Seychelles. And, well, Gabon up against the Seychelles, and Gambia rather face Kenya. Libya are up against Angola. Comoros will take on Mali, both in Ghana's group at 9 p.m. Let's talk about the league of our roots, the Ghana Premier League now. Accra Heart-to-Folk lost back-to-back games for the first time since the opening 2 games of the season, this time against Bichim United. Well, the game ended 1-0 in favor of Bichim United. The Phobians had dropped just 4 points in 2025. However, in the last 2 games, they have dropped 6 points and trail
league leaders Gold Stars by 4 points. Dreams FC beats Hearts of Lions by 2-1. BBNE Gold Stars were 1-0 winners over Basake Holy Stars. Diana Stars beat Nations by 0-0. Samatex were 2-1 winners over Media Mercy. Young Apostles held Kumasi Asante Kotoko to a goalless draw. Here's Asante Kotoko's coach Prosper Nateogum.
Yeah, I think it was a very physical game, and I think it was so due to the nature of the pitch. The pitch did not allow both teams to keep the ball on the turf and play, because anytime the ball bounces, or you pass the ball on the turf, it's just changing direction, and it was difficult for both teams to play. You know, I saw Young Apostles when we played at Obuasi, they could keep the ball and play. Today, they didn't do that. We also didn't do that. So mostly the ball was in the air, and it was a battle of first balls and second balls. I think we were able to deal with most of the first balls very well. But then the second balls, I think they had the advantage of picking most of the second balls and going into transition. So to me, basically, it was a physical game.
You heard from Prosper Nateogum, who is Kumasi Asante Kotoko's head coach. Legon Cities and Vision FC also shared sports. Well, in Europe, Liverpool's midfielder Ryan Gravenberch has withdrawn from the Netherlands squad for their two-leg Nations League quarter-final against Spain because of injury. The 22-year-old picked up a knock during the Red Carabao Cup final defeat by Newcastle United at Wembley on Sunday. Away from Liverpool and Gravenberch, well, Rangers have described the display by supporters of an anti-woke banner at their Europa League game against Fenerbahce, and which has led to a disciplinary charge from UEFA. Interestingly, it's been it's a shameful and embarrassing act. That's what they've indicated. Now the UK government are really keen to crack on to get Manchester United's new stadium off the ground, and are confident the new 100,000-seater project will go ahead. Earlier this month, United confirmed plans to leave Old Trafford and move to a new 100,000-seater stadium, which would be the largest in the UK. In some transfer news, Sporting have confirmed an agreement with Chelsea for the transfer of Gwenda and Dario. Well, in the UEFA Nations League, to some selected games coming up later today, it's Croatia who are facing France at 7:45, Denmark versus Portugal, Italy versus Germany, Netherlands versus Spain, and Austria will be facing Serbia. Well, let's finish off with some tennis. And Neymar Raducanu's coaching trial with Vladimir is over after just 2 weeks. The British number 2 won her Miami Open first round match against Japanese teenager Sayaka in straight sets on Wednesday. And that's the very latest from the world of sport. I am Bernard Abeku. Many thanks to Zonda GH. Shell go well, and the Shell, let's improve lives.
It's not just a service station. It's a place you get more for every visit. It's not just a place to fill your tank. It's a place to fulfill your cravings. From chicken to chocolate, caramel or the tasty latte. It's not just a place to service your car. It's the perfect place to wash your ride. It's a place where convenience, love, friendship, joy, and laughter assemble. Because it all starts at Shell. Visit Shell today and enjoy a wide array of services and offers under one roof. It starts at Shell.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solution, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's share go, we improve your life. Even when you're stuck with nothing, no matter your situation, let's share go, we improve your your life.
Let's go, hey, let's go, hey, let's go, hey, mama, hey, mama, hey, mama.
Let's go, we improve your life.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
There's no price like the ShopRite price. That's why we are committed to bringing you lower prices on all the essentials you need. Like 125-gram Lele sardine in soya oil, only 14 cedis, 99 pence worth. And 200 grams Heinz baked beans, just 10 cedis, 99 pence worth each. Never pay more than the ShopRite price. Prices valid until 23rd March 2025, only at ShopRite.
This March, we invite you to splash in the pool of cultural expression and soak yourself in a celebration of indigenous authenticity in our Heritage Month. Join us for the Heritage Month launch on Friday, February 28th, as we kick off a month of unforgettable experiences. Pack your bags for the Heritage Caravan, a week-long adventure across Ghana from March the 2nd to the 9th.
It's an opportunity to see Ghana in a more beautiful, and the people, the connection, incredible.
Discover the beauty and history of our land.
All their labors.
Savor the flavors at the Back to Your Village Food Festival, a culinary extravaganza on March the 29th and 30th.
The millet tozafi, the corn tozafi, we have the tubani, we have the wache, we have the dawadawa jollof rice. We also serve the local northern beverages, that's pito and zonko.
Taste the essence of Ghana.
The first one I was here, the second one I was here, the third one I was here, this one and the fourth one. And it's not just a bazaar, it's a festival now. And I'm so excited because this is what we should be doing.
Tune in to the Heritage On Air series on 97.3 City FM and Channel 1 TV each week.
Owusu is a general account name. It's Dev's character. Owusu. So that is why the appellation is Owusu Eduam. You see, when an Asante is Eduam, it means something that belongs to him. So Dev's character, he comes to you and grabs you as if it belongs to him.
Delve into what makes us Ghanaians. The Heritage On Air series is sponsored by the National Lotteries Authority. Explore our places of interest, feel the rhythm of our music, journey through our religious history, and indulge in our indigenous Ghanaian food. Join us to celebrate our heritage in this Heritage Month, where every moment is a story. Only on Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM.
Toils of the brave and the sweat of their labors. Toils of the brave which have brought results.
Football's magic never fades, even from the couch. The sound of halftime banter replays at the touch of a button. Cheering with my chosen crew. Pure game magic. It's like I'm there, but with a better view from the comfort of my home. Priceless. From the March 3rd to April 30th, pay with your MasterCard, online or in-store, and stand a chance to win a unique priceless viewing experience of the UEFA Champions League final for you and your friends. MasterCard, proud supporter of non-stop fans. T&Cs apply.
Come on. Good boy. Honey, look, he's crawling. Wow. Good job. The new Cerelac Wheat and Maize has the combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals also found in fruits and vegetables. To prepare the new Cerelac Wheat and Maize, just add milk. Enjoy your little one's big moments at less cost. Cerelac, care for them, count on us. This advert is FDA approved.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
$7:37. Happy birthday to David Kwating Owusu. You're a true treasure and we wish you the best of everything. Keep being amazing. You're a big man. From Parkwesi and your parents, Alex and Dora. To Kwabna Obrimpong Sapomboating, I pray that you always find rest and refreshment in you, just as the sheep find peace in your care. From Mom and Dad. We want to wish our lovely grandma a happy 87th wonderful blessed birthday. She's Henrietta Vigbedo, aka Grandma Cock. From her grandchildren and great grandchildren, Queenie, Kofi, Baba, Mami, Abba, and Nanajwa. We love you, Grandma Cock. Another birthday is here, and I always say you need to be celebrated because you remain a hero as a professional and you're good at what you do. Happy birthday, Deborah of ECG. God bless you so much. From David Owusu Mensah of White Estate near Tema Michelle Camp area. And happy birthday to Lorraine Latili Nyampong, manager NIA Suit. We appreciate you and wish you a great year from the ED team. And to Anthony Kwame Dello, wishing you a year of love, health, money, and peace. Love from Mamle, Kadiva, Perfect, and Juliet. You know, there are days where there's nothing, and then there are days when there's just too much. So today is the latter. Too many things happening. You know, we're going to bed thinking about state enterprises, talking a bit about what's happening in the Galamsey side consumer rights and cholera outbreak and the issues of free SHS, only to wake up to be told that there had been a raid. In actual fact, the raid had happened earlier in the day. For some reason, we hadn't heard it earlier. At the residence of the former governor of the Bank of Ghana, 20 armed men storming the home of the former governor of the central bank in a very Gestapo style. No official information from government or national security on what really is going on. So the main report we have is from the Assassin news site who covered, or who basically were given the information. And it's the second of such high profile raids that has happened within the financial sector. We'll get into that shortly. But have you heard the good news? SG Ghana is giving away loads of amazing prizes, including a brand new luxurious Toyota RAV4 Adventure in the SG Ghana Deposit and Drive promo. Deposit 500 cedis or multiples of it in your SG Ghana account. You could win big. Non-customers can open an account to participate. From now till May 30th, you can win amazing prizes, including trips to Singapore and Dubai. You can win home appliances, or the ultimate prize, a brand new Toyota RAV4 from Toyota Ghana Limited. The more you deposit, the better your chance of winning. So join the SG Ghana Deposit and Drive promo. Visit your nearest branch or call 0302 214 314 for enquiries. Societe Generale, the future is you. And this year, buy or renew a brand new motor insurance policy with Provident Insurance from now till end of March and enjoy exciting rewards, including fuel coupons and exclusive Provident souvenirs. Need assistance? Chat with Obaya, our friendly WhatsApp assistant, or call 0242 426 396. You can chat on that same number. She will sort you out anytime, anywhere. We also have 15 branches nationwide. Provident Insurance, your reliable partner for 43 years. Don't miss out on this special offer. Chat Obaya now, or visit any of our branches or agents or brokers. With Provident, man, you are covered. And don't just watch, feel every moment of passion like a true football fan. From conducting every pass, analyzing every play, and celebrating every goal like it's your own. That's passion, felt, lived, and shared. That's priceless. When you pay with your MasterCard from now till 30 April, you could win an all-expense-paid 3-day viewing experience at the UEFA Champions League final. So for more information, go to priceless.com/UEFA Africa. Terms and conditions apply.
And if you're ready to drive innovation, take the next step in your career, apply for Ashesi University's master's programs, which combine world-class education with African relevance. Regardless of your career aspirations, an Ashesi master's program equips you with the skills, ethics, and network to lead boldly. Applications are open for our 2025 cohorts. Learn more at ashesi.edu.gh. And if you're looking for a delicious snack for both kids and adults, try the Bell Moo flavored milk. Bell Moo comes in chocolate and strawberry, sweet strawberry for that matter flavors. It's perfect for any time of the day, for your lunch boxes, after school snacks, or quick pick-me-ups. We've got you covered. For bulk distribution, please call 054433 5900 or 0544 33 5800. Bell Moo is maliciously delicious, another quality product from Bell Aqua. Let me tell you about the future of energy. It's right here. It's more affordable than ever. Translight Solar is making that possible with our flexible payment program. It starts at 49,000 Ghana cedis. You can now power your home or business by paying just 30% upfront, and then you spread the rest over 12 to 24 months. It's that simple. Buy solar now, pay as low as 1,650 Ghana cedis every month. We are running our 10th anniversary. We want to do that with you so you can say goodbye to doom so and high electricity bills. Call us now, 0504 249 229 0206 542 454. www.translightsolar.com is where to schedule a free consultation. Translight Solar, wherever there is sunlight, there is Translight.
A few more birthday requests coming through this morning. So there are a couple more. Good morning, Bernard. Please help me wish Mr. Yofi Grant a happy birthday. So Yofi is the immediate past CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, coming in from a number of friends, including Pache. So Yofi Grant, it's one of the coolest over 60-year-olds I've met. Really, really cool guy. Did his bit at the GIPC. And we wait for the new team to continue the works he did. Please help me wish my school daughter of many years, Augustina Aku Anan, CEO of the famous Auntie Ahmad Jollof, with branches in Dansoman and Osu, a very blessed birthday. You're a wonderful soul, and I couldn't love you less. And also wish Kakra Amma Anamoa, HR Department, GMPC, a belated happy birthday and congratulations on the birth of a baby. Love from the Maddies. And of course, happy birthday also coming from Rosemont and the team at Jospon to Dr. Joseph Sian Ejepong. And the team wants to wish him a happy, blessed birthday. Interesting people born today, actually.
Including my own presiding elder, Elder Eric Anuma Bequin of Airnet Enterprise, Pokwasi.
Anuma?
Yeah,
But
Anuma.
are you in Pokwasi?
No, that's where his enterprise is, but
okay,
he's presiding at Asalam Down.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's a Kuapim, so anytime he speaks, you hear the you. Yeah.
You should read the book of Professor, the former VC of KNUST.
Right, Professor Adakwa.
He was talking about, as an Ekwapim running a university in Kumasi.
Right.
And comments people make about the quality of his tree. And his point was that, some people who are not that well traveled will say to you, why are you speaking this type of tree? Meanwhile, I actually think the Ekwapim tree is
Ekwapim is sweet.
It's more delectable,
Yeah,
but you can tell. You went to Pempe, he will tell you that when you go to Kumasi, they'll say, what kind of tree are you speaking? Speak the right version. But I don't think there's any right version. All tree is tree.
No.
Yeah.
And happy 7th birthday, Nisi Sedinam Irabina Ashon. This is from your mom, your dad, and the entire Ashon and Degbo family. We love you so much. That's the message for you. Yesterday was the birthday of Apostle Kingsley Adai. He is the resident minister at PIWC Accra. Happy birthday, sir. He's also the national coordinator for the Ministry to Celebrities. So we celebrate him on his birthday.
Were you at the Achimota program?
Yes, I was.
Tell me in 2 minutes what you saw.
It was very interesting. I heard a number of things. One that stood out for me was the fact that let those who can pay. And then the question of equity came up. And then there was a conversation about, private schools being punished for their excellence, so that if you were in Form 2 and you went to a public school, chances were that you're going to get your first choice because they tried to level the playing field and all. So you were punishing private schools who were working hard to raise their students to a certain quality. So there must be equity. But in saying so too, there was conversation that, if you left schools that are not so good, and you said that they should compete at the same level with private schools that are well resourced, there was going to be an issue.
But was that the main topic? I thought the issue was about
reforms. It was about reforms. So where to look at for reform?
Isn't it about paying for secondary education?
Funding was the main issue.
That was the fundamental point.
Funding was the main issue.
The reason I'm asking this is Otumfo said 3 days ago that those who can pay should be made to pay.
Yeah.
Was that point repeated yesterday?
Yes, it was repeated. And then the point even that old students from schools like yours, Preseg, Prempe and the others, who are able to raise enough funds, the government should say, okay, we are not able to, this is the amount of money we have for education, but you are able to raise X amount of money. So we will give 50% to your school, let your alumni also contribute to that and make them critical stakeholders in the school.
So various suggestions on how to do it.
Yes, so that with that limited resource, we can upgrade other schools that are not up to the level of the grade A schools.
So I think that the big question for the National Education Forum, which will happen soon, is what form the free SHS reform should take. And from the way it's going, I'm going to stick my neck out to say the most feasible proposal will be day school should be free and boarding should be paid for. But even that, I think that they will hesitate to do it, because don't forget the finance minister spoke about how they had uncapped the GET fund so that there will be money for free SHS. So it seems as if this government's appetite to touch free SHS is not that high. And if they don't get a strong push from the various meetings happening that they should reform it, they will not. So this is my suspicion. They'll be tracking all the various programs discussing free SHS from their own organized education forum to the like Achimota one. If they sense there's a strong national view that aspect of free SHS should be changed, they will still calculate the political cost of doing that. You know, and I'm a bit torn in this because, you know, I would be naive to say that a government should not look at the political consequence of its actions.
Oh, certainly.
But sometimes the political cost may be lower than the social cost. If the political cost is your opponents can use it against you, it's okay. It's fine, it's politics. But for me, if the social cost is a generation being miseducated, you know. So what I'm appealing to the government to do is that they should not let the political cost of the right thing supersede their need to do the right thing for us, if that makes sense. Yeah. Because, for example, the social cost of continuing the way we are going could be a whole generation of people who have SSC certificates but can't do anything with it. All right, or people who go to school and have no proper education just because they've been packed in a classroom with too many people. So I think they'll be monitoring. Otunfo is saying if people can pay, let them pay. Stephen Adair, these are significant people. Yeah. Okay, of course, there's that question. Why weren't these people speaking that loudly under MPP? That's what people say, because it's like MPP was pushing free SHS. Media was talking about the presence of free SHS. People were demonized for criticizing or pointing out its flaws. So why are we having Otunfo all of a sudden being so clear, Stephen Adair being so clear? I need to say that people like those have said things about free SHS in the past, but it's sounding louder now. Okay, I don't know whether the government will say these guys are setting a trap for us, because if we go and touch free SHS, it could mean lost votes. Do you get it? I don't know how they will scientifically measure the public's view on free SHS. So, for example, are they going to do a survey to say, okay, let's do a survey to say if we said people should pay for boarding and that day is free, will they see it as a distraction of free SHS? Do you understand? So I'm not sure it will just be technical. This is very political. If, from where I sit, without any political chains around my neck, I would say let people pay for boarding and let day school be free. At least if a parent doesn't even have money to support boarding, they can find a day school where they live for their child to go.
And increase the quality of the day schools.
So what I'll say is that they should finish the day schools, make sure the day schools are that many across various districts. Let boarding still be there, but let parents pay for boarding so that the school will get money to cook for the students to eat. Do you get me? Now, so if I were the one, I'll say government, give yourself a year and do as many day schools as you can, so that there are enough day schools, so that there is no community in Ghana where if a parent cannot afford boarding, their child will not go to school. Number two, if there's a private day school,
yeah.
So if you have communities where there are no public day schools, so let me build the point. Is there a community where there's no public day schools? If there's a private day school,
yeah,
give the private school a subvention for accommodating people. So let me repeat the point. Boarding school, pay. Day school, free. Day schools are not evenly distributed in the country. There are day schools. So let me give you an example. There's a day school called Preset Pay Setters. It was started by Mr. Ave, formerly of Presec. It's a very good school. It's a day school. I think now they have a boarding. If there's a day school in a community which is private, if a parent wants to send their child to the day school, the government should find a way of subsidizing that for the parent. But everybody who wants to go to boarding must pay.
Mm.
Do you see my logic? I think that will take care of the political cost of interfering with free SHS, and then the social cost of leaving free SHS in the way it is. Because the social cost for me is a miseducated generation. The political cost is that voters may not understand the nuance of what you are trying to do, and the opposition will use it against you. So I feel like the middle ground is boarding there.
You have to pay. and feeding in the boarding space and all of that. So here are some points I noted from Professor Stephen Ades. I made different points from all the speakers from Achimota Speaks last night, but this one speaks directly to the political cost and decision-making process. So I just want to, it says we should look more at not leaving anyone behind instead of then trying to push to do the FQ thing so quickly. Focus on not leaving everyone behind. So if you meet someone, what's their circumstance? Is it that they've been to a very poor basic school and on top of that they don't have the resources to continue? If that is the case, there's a way you address that. If you met someone who is sharp, whose parents have the resources, you don't treat the person the same as someone whose start was weak and also doesn't have the resources. So focus on not leaving everyone behind instead of opening the floodgates and increasing access, spreading thin and limited resource across for everyone. So we are in the same studio. Godfred is here, Bernard is here, I am here, Odum is here. Now you have very limited resources, but we all have different needs. But you say that everyone should eat gobe because your resource can afford gobe for everyone.
Did he explain how the government would distinguish between people's levels of affordability?
Great. So he mentioned that from his circles and from his research, having a private school, a day school and a private school also, from what he's done so far, he can tell that there are about a quarter of Ghanaians who are willing to pay the fees of their children, senior high school.
Correct.
Now, people are paying between 10,000 to 20,000 cedis a year on their students, even under free SHS.
Yes.
So for such people, they are willing to pay 15,000 a year for their children. Because if you are paying 10 to 20,000 a year while free SHS is going and the quality you complain is not good enough, if the government says you should pay about 15K on your ward a year, people are that willing to pay.
So that's 25% of the people.
Yes. There was a suggestion.
Hold on. How do you find those people? Did he talk about that?
There was a suggestion. Someone in the audience actually talked about using people's TIN numbers.
Good.
The TIN number of the parent of the ward. So that if you are going through the school, indeed, how do you identify that this parent can pay or not? Then they're able to demonstrate that this is my TIN, and because their TIN is connected to their other important details
it's connected to your Momo.
Exactly. So they're able to justify. But then the argument was that Ghanaian parents will always find a way of proving to you why they cannot pay, even if they can. So we really need to devise a very holistic process. That
Did he talk about how, because his school, he does give some scholarships.
Yes.
Did he talk about how he was able to differentiate between parents who can afford and those who couldn't afford?
Well, that did not come up from his presentation. What he did talk about, though, was the fact that in the day school he's set up in Wiamwase, his village, what they've done is that there's 3 years and then there is 4 years.
Good.
Some of the students who have come from the rural areas, you have to start them off from class 1 because some of them, their standards are really
So
poor.
he gives those 4 years.
Exactly.
And then those who are from
okay,
good,
you do 3 years. However, he's noticed also that what makes borders very competitive over the day students is the fact that they have a 2-hour prep period.
So that enforces the learning.
So close them at 2. But supervise preps while they are in school, because if you leave the day student to go home, some of them, the distance they're covering is far, and then also they may go home to no electricity. So supervise preps while they are in school.
So Professor Adair's view is that there are at least 25% of parents who are prepared to pay. Find them and let them pay.
Yeah.
Now, this is my concern. The so-called means test, because Ghanaians don't keep proper records, and because the system is so opaque, and as you said, because people are not very honest, the differentiation of pay and I will not pay is between schools. So, for example, those who can pay send their children to Roman Reed School or to SOS or to a private school. And those who cannot afford those who go to a normal SHS. But those in a normal SHS, some can afford.
Yes.
Because they are sending money. Now, this is what I would say. Instead of asking parents to bring their TIN number to differentiate between those who cannot pay and those who pay, segregate the payment by saying day school is free, boarding you pay.
Okay. In fact, there was even a suggestion, I believe, from lawyer Ace and Kuma that, I mean, let's talk about some grade A schools. It should be that if you go there, you are paying. Unless you are someone who is from a place where, I mean, we are able to identify that you are poor, then you are not paying.
But you see, hold on. If you do that, you see, we don't want grade A schools to only be attended by those who can pay.
The elite, that's true.
So, see, this is the thing.
So that's where you stagger the process.
You see, there's something in the comments called demand side and supply side. What you guys are proposing is from the demand side, that a person can pay or a person cannot pay. And I'm saying that we don't have an objective way of determining that in Ghana.
That's correct.
So use the supply side. Tell the parents that when you come to school, tuition is free.
Yes.
If you can get a school uniform and come to a class, you will be educated.
But if you want to
go home and eat your mother's food and sleep in your father's house.
Yeah.
If you want the school to accommodate you and feed you, pay for it.
Yeah.
Do you understand my point? And that one, you have not discriminated against anybody. But you just need to make sure that there are enough day schools everywhere for everybody who wants to go to school to go. Yeah. So they need to do an inventory of day schools and say, maybe the capacity of day schools is 60% of the population. Then the 40% who can pay, or the 25% Adair says can pay, may want their kids to go to boarding, because the boarding food will be ready. You are paying for actually what you are eating. The schools will not have to be giving you gari and garlic bar 3 times a day. You get it? I believe that may be the most reasonable, because we have not invested in a system that can truly tell the affordability levels of people. You get it? In some countries, based on your tax returns and the things you file, we are able to tell what you can afford. But in Ghana, most people don't pay tax. I mean, look, we have 18 million people who vote. Go to GRA, ask them how many people pay income tax. I don't think they even have 5 million. Do you get it? So you are already working from a position of no information. Yeah. If 18 million people can be whipped up to vote, and yet less than 5 million of them are paying tax. Meanwhile, 80 million is people who are 18 and above. Do you understand? You have a 30 million population. Your voter register, at least they are, even if 15 million. Not even half of them pay tax. So you cannot use any objective means to determine people's levels of affordability beyond whether they want to be honest or not. So you need to build that segregation into the service offering. You get it? And I feel like the risk that there is politics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is something that Nkrumah decried yesterday, that we have over politicized the education, and so it makes progressive reform become a problem. You know, there was a point about it says that free education goes beyond free tuition. It's supposed to be a steady progression, but we have rushed into opening the floodgates, and now we don't have enough resources to upgrade things. Yeah. So one of the things I heard that I strongly identified with was, do well to phase out grade D and C schools. Invest in those schools, get proper day schools also, so that for the elite schools, establish category A schools where alumni association is strong, they're able to raise enough funds, give them equity, make them part stakeholders, key stakeholders in the running of the school.
So the school can be self-financing.
They've invested so much, yes. Okay. So that the little resource you have, make sure that you phase out certain category of schools, and particularly for the primary, the basic sector too. There were calls for enough investments to be made in the basic sector, because some of the structures that the keynote speaker said he met, they were at best not even good enough for
2 minutes past 8, Citi Breakfast Show. We're live in Accra. If you're a parent listening to us, would you be, what form of review do you want for free SHS? I think that's the question, right? I'm proposing that make day school free and let people pay for boarding. I think that's the most reasonable thing to do between the political cost of cancelling free SHS and the social cost of maintaining free SHS in its present form. We are happy to hear from you. The other point is equality versus equity. Free SHS wants to create equality, but what we want is equity. Equity is each man based on his ability, every man according to his need. That's equity. And that's a more reasonable way of dealing with problems than trying to equalize, because we are not equal. We're never made to be equal. So how will you operationalize an equity structure in reforming free SHS? We really want to hear from parents. So it's 3 minutes past 8. Let's get into tech and social media trends brought to us by...
It's brought to us by Telecel, Connecting Energies, and First Bank Ghana. First Bank Ghana says if you have to send money to Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, you don't need to stress at all. We help you do that through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems, PAPS. You can send and receive money with no stress. All you need to do is to visit any of our branches nationwide with your cash, and your money is transferred in no time. To receive money, then you need an account with us. Call 0596 921 921 to find out more.
So Susu Graham is here with the segment. Good morning, Susu.
Good morning.
What's trending?
Oh, a lot of things. So with the first one, I'll start with national security.
Yes.
So there was a alleged raid on Dr. Addison's house. the former governor of the Bank of Ghana, and we heard that the security footage and cameras were all taken away. Afenio Markin went to visit him. Richard Japa is also trending because it's alleged that he led the raid. But unlike the raid on Kenuforiate's house, there's no footage this time since they took their cameras. So that's been trending. So lots of people have been condemning it and saying that these are the type of things that happened in the last government they were not happy about. So they are not happy that it's happening again. So a lot of people are very upset about this for sure. And then we have the Black Stars are also trending. Again, this time John Mahama has gone to visit them. So he has told them that if they beat Chad, Ghanaians will start, if they beat Chad and they win their next game as well, Ghanaians will start to forgive them. So they should do their best and get those wins.
But it's true.
No, I mean, it's gotten so bad that we are asking Black Stars to win against Chad.
If I don't ask them to win and see.
Okay.
Yes, so that's what's trending. So Free Okatiche now is also trending. So he was also allegedly picked up by national security. And a lot of people are being picked up. It looks like they have a bus going around and they are picking people. So, so he was also allegedly picked up, but he's since been released according to the reports. But Free Okatiche now is also trending because naturally people don't want it. People are against, again, like I said, national security picking up. And this is a very interesting one. A man called Abdul Rahman Amatefio is trending. Why? Because a funeral poster came out where it showed that his children were called Lionel Messi.
No, his grandchildren.
Abdul Rahman Amatefio is the man. It was his mother's funeral poster that was trending. So he has named his children Lionel Messi, Andres Iniesta, Angel Di Maria, and Serena Williams.
It's serious, though. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, so
and it's on the obituary.
Yeah, so if you look at the funeral poster.
But why he doesn't have zero?
He's a Barca fan clearly because you can see as Lionel Messi, and then Di Maria from Argentina. So.
And then he added Serena Williams.
Yeah, that's probably his daughter. So so Abdul Rahman Amatefio, you're a big man. You're very
Abdul Rahman Amatefio.
Yeah.
No, Charlie.
So in tech news, Google and Apple have been hit by the EU in a regulatory crackdown. So as we always speak about the EU, they like to regulate things. They don't like unfair things.
They don't joke.
So Apple faced 2 charges of breaking the EU rules. Google has been accused of favoring its search services on its devices. So Google could be fined up to 10% of their sales, and Apple has been asked to open up their ecosystem. So if you know a bit about the way these things work, Apple don't like people to be able to just put any apps on their app store, for example. I believe they take 30% of whatever you put, whatever revenue you make from their apps and that kind of stuff. So these are some of the things the EU feel like they hinder competition, they make it unfair on everyone. So the EU is trying to crack down on these things. So something to think about when you also regulate our spaces.
That was second social media trends. We'll come back to the raid shortly. But Susu Graham brought us that segment.
For a bank to rely on. Let me give you a shout out to lie on. Wouldn't we say to banky baby? No lie, only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Awesome. Every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here on the date. I'm a busy person, me no need time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office a chilly, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first.
Nobody feed you, I'm like us. I'm like us. First Bank we treat you first. Treat you first. Somebody see yeah. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Hey, dear Miriam, sir.
Stay Soft Concentrate Fabric Softener. I was such it move. Just send it say be here my tina wache. New Yanet na wache. No be a baby some was some demoni in na say. Dini am say. Fair quiet sim biara association Ontario. Use Stay Soft and New Yanet na wache. Nani boss to tap from cra. A fabric softener. A near say sir. Choose to Stay Soft. No who's so say no. FDIG a getting crack to yatu.
The vendor slots for the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025 are officially sold out. Now get ready as we take you back to your roots for an unforgettable experience and treat you to delectable authentic Ghanaian cuisine from the Akan, Northern and Southern villages at the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025. Let's also treat you to a collection of authentic Ghanaian music and traditional dances, some authentic Ghanaian games and good networking. The date is the 29th and 30th of March 2025 at the forecourt of the AMA at 10 a.m. right through to 6 p.m. each day. Follow all Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM social media handles for updates with the hashtag Back to Your Village Food Festival. Don't miss out on this nostalgic and thrilling experience. See you there. The entry is free. The Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by Gino, Koa Natural Cocoa Fruit Juice, Pan African Savings and Loans, GB Water, Twilliam Industrial Company, and Contract Cleaners Association of Ghana.
Football's magic never fades, even from the couch. The sound of halftime banter replays at the touch of a button. Sharing with my chosen crew, pure game magic. It's like I'm there, but with a better view from the comfort of my home. Priceless. From the March 3rd to April 30th, pay with your MasterCard, online or in-store, and stand a chance to win a unique priceless viewing experience of the UEFA Champions League final for you and your friends. MasterCard, proud supporter of non-stop and T&Cs apply.
Come on. Good boy. Honey, look, he's crawling. Wow. Good job. The new Cerelac Wheat and Maize has the combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals also found in fruits and vegetables. To prepare the new Cerelac Wheat and Maize, just add milk. Enjoy your little one's big moments at less cost. Cerelac, care for them, count on us. This advert is FDA approved.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Minutes past 8, Citi Breakfast Show. Stories online being dominated by the national security again. Barely a month after that, I can call it uncultured raid on Kenuferiate's house. It's happened again, led by the same person. So the question is, why is this happening? Or why does this keep happening? What's the justification for going to a man's house in the morning with 20 armed men? A man with no known history of violence. A man with no publicly known behavior of resisting arrest or uncooperation. A man who served his country as a governor. You may disagree with his policies, but for me, to go to a man like that's house with 20 armed men sends many messages that we are in power, we can do what we want. That's wrong. That's number one. Number two, the fact that they haven't even bothered to issue a statement to explain what they did, I believe is impunity. To get up and just go to somebody's house because you are in power and you have guns doesn't make sense. Number three, you are discouraging well-meaning people from serving their country, because another government will come and do the same thing. So if you have, and I'm not saying Mr. Addison should not be touched. That's not the point I'm making. There are ways of going about these things. Now, Mr. Mahama said he's coming to do a reset. This is very crude. If the report we are seeing is correct, 20 armed men enter Mr. Addison's house, disable his CCTV camera, remove it on the basis that they are looking for something. Have you announced that the man should come and he hasn't come? Have you announced that he's taking something that he has not been taking? Do you understand what I'm saying? Is there a court process? If you are doing an investigation, do you have to go to his house with gun-wielding people? And if the report we read is to be true, that they said they were looking for some vault, honestly, you get it. Let's put politics aside. The problem with Ghana is that somebody will start pointing you to, well, somebody was arrested on his way to church, so it's time to do this. If you run the country on the basis of what angry party supporters think, nobody will be alive. Common sense must prevail. In fact, when the majority leader apologized to the finance minister for the raid in his house, foot soldiers came after him. And because of this has happened. Who will be next? You get me? I think that we have to be very clear. People didn't queue to go and vote for President Muhammad to go and have his national security people behave like this. If you are looking for Dr. Addison, invite him for a meeting. If you want to arrest him, arrest him. If you want to investigate his house, why do you need 20 armed men? Do you get it? Is he like some rebel leader with some guns in his house who's going to fight back? What message are you sending by sending 20, even 10? CID people don't even wear uniform. Some of the highest investigators don't need guns. So what is it? What is it? Why isn't national security explaining itself to us? Aren't you the ones who pay them? I don't see what they are trying to achieve.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The last one with Mr. Forieta's house, did we ever get a statement on that? Or what we got was the apology from the majority leader?
An apology which did not even go down well with some people in his party. But what we saw was that it was discussed in Parliament. And then in fact, when that matter came up, I think some people raised who was Jakba in this whole thing. And I think within the next day, it was then announced that he was head of some
special operations or something.
So which means that proud to that we didn't even know publicly what he was.
Yeah. So we never got a statement.
Not that I've seen.
Okay.
Not
did you ever see a statement?
I haven't seen a statement. Did you see a statement on Ken Ofriata's raid? No. So I didn't see.
Did you see a statement? I'm just asking. Maybe we've missed it because we can miss sometimes.
The national security establishment seems to believe that they operate by a different set of rules. You see, and if you are in a democracy that you have chosen to run, we are all what we are because of the law. So there are laws that regulate what we do. I don't know all the laws, but I'm just looking at it from a common sense perspective. What is to be gained from doing what you just did? Even the government that you say you are working for, I don't think they are happy with this approach. Do you understand what I'm saying? You see, when you listen to the debate in Parliament, there are lots of people who disagree with how the central bank was run. But there are technical, legal, and financial ways of dealing with that. Do you understand? But going to a man's house with 20 gun-wielding soldiers, apart from a show of we are in power, we can do what we like, I don't see what purpose it serves. Number two, it will begin to define the character of the government if the government doesn't rein him in. Because I listen to President Mahama, I go to programs, I hear him talk, I look at his posture. He's trying to come up with a certain, a certain posture of governance. That we are in a new era, rule of law. We will not tolerate impunity. We will not let people who misbehave go scot-free. So we are not saying that the fact that people shouldn't be prosecuted. But the way of doing it, I don't think he will endorse it. Even in opposition. Do you get it? So for me, some people have not yet smelled the coffee. They are misinterpreting the mandate. They think that because 2/3 majority means you can do anything. No. People are saying we're so unhappy with the previous government for impunity. We didn't vote for new impunity. Do you get it? So I feel like people Charlie, right now there we have power, we can do it. No. And the other thing is that goodwill can be eroded faster than it is gained. It took Mahama 8 years in opposition to get the kind of thing he got. Somebody can spoil it in 1 month. And if NDC people are listening to this program, they need to begin to act quickly, because this type of thing, It's not going to say. And this is another thing. I don't know whether they think that because people were so hurt by the financial sector that they would need to see some public humiliation of those who were running the sector. That's not how it works. There are legal ways of going about it. That's why we say we are one nation under the rule of law. We are not under rule of guns or rule of emotions. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if no matter how virulently you disagree with somebody, there's a way of going about seeking redress. And national security should not be about gun-toting. Do you understand my point? I mean, I don't understand it. There are places where people are under attack by robberies, insurgents. We need guns there, not in the Roman Ridge house of the former governor. Do you see where I'm going? Like, I don't understand the point. And for me, it's a complete misunderstanding of where we are as a nation and the mood of the nation. And the thing is that politicians always send us on edge. We've just come from a very traumatic few years. Election was very difficult for everybody. There's a new government. You should listen to the president talking to his appointees about how if they don't perform, he will sack them. He needs to call his national security point to order and say, look, what are you doing? Okay, now I'm saying all of this not having heard the official position of national security. Once your name is in the news for such an action, what you need to do is issue a statement to tell us, did it actually happen the way it is reported? But to the extent that the Kenufreata one was not denied over a month ago, it's very clear that this one, and again, the detailed report that was given, the photograph that was taken, minority that is in the house of the governor, former governor. So clearly something did happen. We may not have the full details, but this is the point I'm making. This is not how it's supposed to be done. And I don't need to be a security expert to know. This is not how it's supposed to be done. You've studied international relations, you've studied a bit of this. Even of course, I know that the national security laws give some leeway to searches without warrants. I admit that. So there are certain categories of things that can allow people. So for example, if you know somebody is doing something very evil in a place, let's assume they have taken underage
human trafficking.
Yes, or they are molesting people. You don't need that. You can go and do what you have to do. You get, and that one will support you because you are saving lives. But my question is, somebody sitting at home with his wife and children. I mean, what is the point of going with soldiers to go to their, for what? Have you asked him to come and he has not come? Have you said you search his house or if he's been hiding something and you want to go, do you need 20 gun holding men to do what? Do you see my point? Is he protected by some soldiers that you have to fight?
They say he had security, but we don't know
but
what the security
if he has security, that's probably state security, which is under your control.
I don't even know if it's state. It might even be security.
Guys, you see, for me, this is my issue with Ghanaians. Let's put the nation's interest ahead of all our partisan sentiments. Because yesterday we were told that partisanship was destroying free SHS. It will destroy the country. Budget debate is partisan. Now discussion of national security too is going to be partisan. So when you were born, were you like, I don't understand, like, why can't people simply see that there are certain things that people do that is just not right, that we need to place the country's interest at the heart of everything we do? I don't know the commentary you are reading, whether it's partisan, but I'm sure there are people who defend this and there are people who condemn it, some on partisan, some on nationalistic.
I mean, it's a mix. So I think a lot, generally, the more common sentiments is that this is not the way, because you see comments like, what sort of AE is this? How can you be doing this? Are we in a banana republic? These are the type of things I'm reading. So, and then you have other people who say, we don't, like, okay, they are arresting criminals. Addison printed 60 million illegally. Should he not be arrested?
But what kind of logic is that?
No, and that's the point.
Okay, what law, under what law? Printed money and ate. Do they even understand what it means to print money? And if somebody printed money and the macroeconomy is destabilized, when the finance minister read the budget, did he call for Addison's arrest? Do you know more about economics than the finance minister? When we went to the national economic forum, did anybody say Addison should be arrested? He was even there to contribute to national discourse. Why wasn't he arrested there?
Yeah, and like you said, when you are
let's not use reasons we don't understand to just justify things.
Well, you mentioned the goodwill being eroded, and I think you're absolutely right.
Quickly.
Because I've seen a lot of people talking about the NDC, saying that this government is failing, that they've not started well, and I have to say I agree with you because, like you said, it's been what 3 months,
60 something days.
Honestly, I think this happening twice. If it happens a third time,
honestly, and this I keep saying that they are misinterpreting the mandate. And I think MPP did the same thing as well. It's like, 2016, NDC will never come to power. Mahama, Charlie, they did Banchi, blah 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 blah. Did all the things they did, and the result was what we saw in 2024. Now they are on radio talking. NDC has a mandate to govern. Mahama, and you see, this is what even worries me. If you listen to the president and the way he's talking, yesterday when I was interviewing Pesa White, we actually read the statement Mahama issued to SOEs. Very serious, like warnings and things. You get it? And then 2 days later, somebody just goes to do this. Another week, somebody goes to do something. I'm like, you can't control everything. But there are certain things in Ghana we are sensitive about because of our military past. This issue of raiding people's homes and things, we are very sensitive about it. You get it? If you look at the killing of the judges, that thing is very traumatic for Ghanaians. So you cannot go to a man's house, especially not, and it's not like some Ataikan criminal who's being looked for, who has been terrorizing people. Do you get it? This is like, so if somebody now tells you to go and become governor one day, and you see what's even happening. So now the new governor, he himself, he was a victim of certain court things, and now he's gone through. So, and you see, we are not saying that people are above the law, but some jobs are highly technocratic and difficult to get good people to do. So the picture you are painting, meanwhile, there are people who have done probably worse things in the previous government who are still working free anyway. So I don't understand the idea around soldiers going to a former governor's house. I don't get it.
And the worst part is they disabled the CCTV so we wouldn't see like the last time.
If you have nothing to hide, why are you disabling the CCTV?
I'm wondering, why would you do that?
Look, there has to be a clear statement, and this is the other problem. We don't have a Ministry of National Security.
They say it's under the Interior Ministry, and the Interior Minister is the de facto National Security Minister.
Well, he needs to. This
is what they've said.
I suggest that the parliamentarians list some questions for him today or tomorrow, so that when Muntaka goes to Parliament today or tomorrow, he's made to answer questions around the two incidents for clarity's sake, because I think that's the way to do it, since he's the minister in charge. You get it? Because I mean, I don't see how any of us, I don't see how the country benefits from this. And it's even distracting us from more important issues. Here we are talking about education, the way to go about free SHS. Cholera, 3,000 cases, 19 dead. Galamsey, minister trying to do one or two things. Yeah. You are training guards to go and fight Galamsey wearing white t-shirt and blue trouser. If you have people with guns, send them to the two remaining forest reserves, because the minister said he's reclaimed 7 out of 9. So the other 2 that the people are doing, Galamsey, why won't you go there and go and fight the people? And you have trained people that they should do pili and go and fight Galamsey as water guard. If you have people with guns, why would you go and fight Galamsey? Do you see my point? Like, you are like, what is this?
These are parts of the reasons people are even starting to get upset, because people are feeling, first of all, people are starting to feel like the Galamsey thing has slowed down. There's not enough action, and then you see something like this where it's like
it's almost like governments conspire to destroy themselves. I mean, unless there's a certain logic in the way politicians behave that I have not learnt yet. Like maybe there's some Machiavellian or some higher reasoning but from a very normal sense of view, I don't see how this is beneficial to anybody. You studied a bit of this, so you may help me. But me, I don't understand.
I mean, that's why I'm listening to you, and
sometimes there are some deeper reasons, or some intelligence information that we don't have.
A month ago, you and I had an extensive conversation about national security.
Mm-hmm.
A month ago, and I spoke that day about the need to have clarity on its processes. I do not still understand why in the year 2025, in a country that considers itself a blueprint for democratic practice, at least on this continent, we still want to have conversations about or create a security entity or a security infrastructure that is opaque and create a myth of fear around that institution simply because it is an intelligence institution. That by itself is not intelligent. There's nothing intelligent about that kind of construct. So I get bothered particularly because I was aware about 3 or 4 years ago of attempts to make the NIB a very public-facing institution, although it deals with intelligence. There were attempts to put itself out there so that it would demystify its activities.
It's not even why they changed the name.
General populace about what it is it does. So when we had this conversation a month ago and I raised these issues, that look, the way the NIB operates, citizens must understand that the way in which the NIB comes for Bernard Avle is the same way the NIB must come for Susu. It's the same way it must come for Godfred Akoto-Boafo. And the citizens must know these things because, why? When it happens, there are also legal recourses for the citizens.
Exactly. Yes,
so if the NIB does A, I as a citizen know that I will do what? B. Or I will do C.
Yeah.
On the matter of warrants, if you look at the Security Agencies and Intelligence Act 2020, for instance, it states pretty clearly what you are supposed to do when you are looking for a warrant. Now, this is important because the fact that you are an intelligence gathering entity does not mean that there is no oversight.
Good.
And for some reason, we have oriented ourselves as a citizenry, perhaps based on our history from the 70s, 80s, even from the 60s, when we set up our intelligence agencies, or the Indians helped us to set up our intelligence infrastructure. Up to this point, we have created a certain thinking, a certain orientation that intelligence units are not supposed to be supervised.
They are above the law.
They are above the law. It doesn't exist anywhere. If they were above the law, there would not have been an act that dictates what they do.
They were set up by an act. So they don't exist. They are not God.
You understand? So it is up to the people who have that oversight to enforce that oversight, including senior management. So by this, you mentioned Muntaka.
Minister of Interior.
By this, you mean the National Security Coordinator.
Yes.
By this, you mean
the head of NIB.
The head of NIB himself.
Yeah.
By this, you mean Parliament and its committees.
Committee on Security.
You see, because what happens is this. When I asked about the Alaji incident.
Yes, the
raid,
the gold.
Yes. 12 containers were discovered. They told us they were looking for 2 more at the point. This wasn't in an official statement. We came on air and said the size of this endeavor is such that you need to inform the general public about what it is you went to do.
Exactly.
What you found. What is the next step? It is not a regular police investigation. You don't even need to provide other things.
Yeah.
But as an institution, tell us
was that a high profile thing?
The second one was the Kenofoyata one. After it is done, what were you looking for? Or even if you're not looking for anything, tell the people that, look, based on A, B, C, D, we went here to do this. We found this. We will keep you updated. You see, because what happens is normally, in places where there is best practice, oversight means that at the end of perhaps even the year, a parliamentary committee will have access to the reports of the NIB and say, okay, so you people said you were looking for Alaji. what was the status of that search for Alaji?
Yeah.
You people went to look for Kenoforiata. What was the status of that particular investigation? How has it
evolved?
Okay, there's an allegation that you visited the home of Dr. Addison. What was the status of that? You understand? So that those are the representatives of the people, who then also get a clear understanding of what exactly it is you have been doing. You do not want a construct where investigations are supposedly ongoing, but there is never an update on those investigations. We don't know how they evolve and somehow just disappear.
Yeah.
But the repercussions of those investigations publicly, for the persons who are involved on the other side, reputations are tarnished. They have no opportunity to redeem themselves because they can't even go to court. What will be the basis of going to court? There's trauma and distress.
Yeah.
Like you said, I'm sitting in my house minding my business. I don't live in an army barracks. I'm not a drug lord. I am not anything. I run the Bank of Ghana.
I don't even know if you've invited me.
You've invited me or something. I am there. 20 men allegedly in balaclavas raid my house. I could even get a heart attack and die.
It's serious.
What will you say? You will say that, oh, we visited the house and the man died?
You know, it's a serious point.
You understand? That is why oversight is required.
Yeah.
That is why there is a certain room where we must act. They must ask themselves, these acts that we are undertaking, are they legal? Are they proper? Are they effective?
Correct.
Are they efficient?
Very good.
If you cannot answer these 4 questions for every process or every action you undertake as a national intelligence construct, there is a problem.
Yep.
So by all means, the national intelligence operations must work. But we must also understand that as an evolving democracy, as a growing democracy, this opaque construct that we are allowing to perpetuate acts of fear and terror amongst regular citizens because I don't know how a lot of citizens who were not even born in the generation of military rule, some way, somehow, still accept
this type of thing,
that a national security entity is supposed to behave this way. And so when you criticize it, they say you don't know what you're talking about. Hey, child, it is national security. Come and arrest me.
National security is the reason why even at the ports there were issues with revenue collection, because it was so much abused that you go to the port and beyond the regular customs things you have to do, you see some people in glasses say they are national security. They want to search you. And it was leading to so many problems at the port. So it needs to be reined in and supervised.
You understand? So the people who have that remit owe it to themselves, owe it to the National Intelligence Service itself, and owes it to the citizenry. You see, because if you look at the history of our national security construct, basically saw citizens as subjects. In the year 2025, we cannot allow that same construct to see citizenry as subjects. We are not to be coerced. No. That is why we are citizens.
Yeah.
And that orientation somehow must change. So again, by all means, go on your operations. And you see, the reason somebody will say, what is the basis of this early morning criticism? Because Assassin reported, or because Apenyomakin has tweeted, or because this. You leave room for that kind of conversation because you do not communicate your actions.
Thank you.
You leave room for that because if you had sought a warrant, there is a judge who will justify what you have gone to do, which is what the law says you must do.
So there's actually a law covering this.
If you go to the act that says you have Act 1030, Security and Intelligence Agencies Act 2020, application for warrant, subsection 34.
Oh, it's there.
It is there, 34, 35. It outlines what you must do. Although I still believe that the law is deficient in the sense that it does not allow what it sets out as protection for citizens once you feel you have your rights have been violated by the security or intelligence agencies. It's pretty steep. It's a pretty steep mark to make. to get that tribunal to sit.
So it's almost like they are making it almost impossible for
you to seek redress. Okay, but the national security must communicate better its actions and understand that there are ways to go about this. When I spoke about this again a month ago, Bernard, I spoke about the father look. And you make the point beautifully. If you are chasing, if this is how we would look for documents in Dr. Addison's house. Hey, then the day we discover who the Galamsey kingpin or queenpin in Ghana is, we will take the whole barracks there. We will take a whole barracks. If that day, we will take the whole barracks to that person's house to find that person. If this is how we look, you see, because that's what I'm making, the point I'm making. If you are going to is he a technocrat or a bureaucrat? Which one is Dr. Addison?
I don't even know. One of them.
Maybe it's both.
Or whoever it is. Even if the national security says they are coming for me, let's put Dr. Addison aside. They say they are coming for me. Based on what it is that I am supposed to have done. Either I'm supposed to be invited, I will show up with my lawyer.
Or picked up,
whichever way. But at least I must understand what process I am being put through.
Yeah.
I can ask, can I bring my lawyer? Okay, you are searching my house. Can I call my lawyer to come whilst you are searching?
Yeah.
What does that stop? What does that kill?
Yeah.
Is that not part of my rights? Because there is no part of this law that throws away the rights of the citizen. Security and Intelligence Agencies Act 2020, Act 1030, Act 1030. There is no part of it that throws away the rights of the citizen. Anywhere.
It's a very, very big problem.
So the intelligence service must evolve with the times.
Yeah.
Okay. It must. I think that it must become. It was on this. I don't know whether I could say it was on this way to being a sophisticated outfit, because it does have elements that are pretty sophisticated in their approach to work. So I won't make general statements. I know a lot of people who work in that institution. Okay. But it needs to understand that public perception of intelligence operations is very important to perception of the government itself. You see? Because you cannot say you are a democratic government and then on the other half of the coin there is an organization that works under this so-called democratic organization that is allowed to run roughshod over citizens without
due recourse to law,
due
process,
without any kind of being reined in. It does what it wants simply because it is under the guise of national security. That is not proper. So again, I reiterate, by all means, carry out your investigations. By all means, recover the loot, as you want to call it. By all means, find whoever it is. But let us not use this method of, as you beautifully put it again, I will show you where power lies. I will embarrass you. Yes, you can embarrass me, but what if I am a person without shame? Would that put me in prison? Would that get back what you are looking for? Okay, you've embarrassed me, you've raided my house. I will still chop the money anyway. Find legal ways of doing this. And look, address the public on these matters. The things that you are investigating are not above us. Eventually, these matters will end up in court.
That's essentially where it will end up.
It will end up in court. You cannot, because here's the thing. The national security cannot jail you simply because it wants to jail you.
You have to still go through court.
You have to go to the court anyway.
Isn't it better to start the legal way?
So go legal.
So that we will know that whatever process you go through is consistent.
Okay, so let's look at a scenario. Reportedly, CCTV cameras have been disabled. And from where I sit, obviously looks like a lesson learned from the Kenofreata operation because images were shared. So you've gone to touch somebody's CCTV camera. You go to a court of law to prosecute this person. And the person says, oh, during the time of the raid, there was ABCD here. You have disabled the CCTV camera.
Yeah. So how are you
even justifying these things, even for your own self?
Yeah. It's a big problem.
Okay, let's get back to the world of democratic modernity.
Thank you.
It is the path we have decided to set on. It does not exclude any institution that operates in a democracy.
All of us are under the law.
We are under the law. do what you have to do, but do it lawfully.
8:42 on the City Breakfast Show. A couple of quick announcements. Don't forget, we are dealing with two issues here. Free SHS has become a big issue. Now, Godfrey, sorry to go, but some people are also saying that the free SHS discussion we should continue because
Yes,
they also feel like the NDC government is being tricked into cancelling the free SHS and it will cost them in 2028. So there's a lot of views on that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We'll run the two together, but let's deal with this quickly.
Financial freedom, peace of mind, smooth retirement planning, etc., etc. Not just nice phrases to hear at Old Mutual. They are in our DNA. They are very big. So whether it is making sure that your child's education is taken care of when you're no more, you want to insure lives or start saving to start a business or preparation for retirement, Old Mutual is that insurance company that cares for exactly and truly what matters to you most, being that friend, certain friend in these uncertain times. Please call us 030-7600. Visit oldmutual.com.gh for more information. Old Mutual, do great things every day. So your living room deserves class, warmth, and memory for your family and friends who visit your home. That is why Ash Foam produces a masterclass range of sofas and couches to fit in every corner and space in your living room or balcony. We offer an exquisite range of modern designed living room sofas, couches, center tables, wooden beds, headboards, wardrobes, dressers, bedside drawers, and chairs for your poolside, balcony, or garden area, etc., etc. We have them all. Visit our showroom across the country. Delight yourself with Ash Foam stylish living room furniture crafted with the finest wood or MDF. Our sofas are of high quality. They are durable and affordable. They come in different upholstery colors and of quality leather. Please call this number 0243 200 729 or 0559 027 907. We have showrooms dotted across the country. Please visit us today. We are the only ISO 900-1-2015 certified manufacturer of foam and other home soft furnishing in Ghana. Be an Ash Foamer now. Ash Foam, feel it, know it. So let's talk about chilling while insuring. So from January to June 2025, Enterprise Insurance is giving you more reasons to smile on the road. Buy or renew your existing motor insurance policy and enjoy amazing rewards, free fuel coupons for your car and airtime for your phone. Don't you just love that? We've been in the business for more than 100 years. So visit any of our branches, connect with your insurance agent or broker, use the Enterprise Advantage app for convenience, and enjoy free fuel coupons and airtime at the same time when you buy or renew your motor insurance. Terms and conditions apply. Enterprise, your advantage. So
let's read a quick round of comments on this.
Please,
matter.
Guys, it is this same crude behavior that led to the erosion of MPP's goodwill and their eventual loss in the 2024 elections. This attitude of showing people where power lies must stop. We are a country of law, and in any case, which contemporary man with financial education will keep vaults in their house or in their homes when there are many offshore accounts? Ghana has a myriad of problems, and the president has just 4 years to try to fix the country. Let's use the resources to fix the sanitation, power, roads, hospital, and indiscipline problems. There's too much work to be done to fix the country. Let's do that and eschew this needless machoism. We are watching, and we will weigh you on the scales just like we did Akufo-Addo Edem from Isinegon. DSCB unnecessary show of power. The NDC is gradually digging its own grave. Flow from Greta State. Moses from Abokobi. But Bernard, what shows the president has no idea what is going on? Can't happen. And if the president was not happy with that, we wouldn't have the governor's own happening. Abokobi Moses from Abokobi. Bernard, if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. After Tamils brought about Father for All by not going on that vengeance for 2021, from 2021, look at what...
For 2001.
For 2001. Look at what they did in 2016. Masa, forget about two wrongs not making a right. We are Ghanaians. We support the raid. Human beings... Human beings.
Okay, it's okay.
This one.
You don't understand what you are reading, so just read something else.
Francis, you they worry me. I think this Japan man is bitter. And I don't know why the government and the party has put him in that position. Is the president preaching virtues and yet appointing a national security person to practice vices? If Muhammad doesn't crack the whip, these people will continue to think all he's doing is just talking but no action, and they will continue doing that. Benade, millions of dollars were found in Cecilia Dape's house, so we might not be fans of the star, but some of our leaders in suit and tie, you say. Gifty, whose issues was even mentioned by the president in his first sona, is walking around taking pictures with high-ranking officials. Okay, you're referring to the national service. Okay, good. We'll move to some free SHS comments now. Bernard, in as much as I agree with the sentiments of Professor Stephen Adayo, Tumfo, and others, I think I can't think straight about the honesty of some. Okay, when they were appointees of the NPP government, we heard what they said when the media and civil societies were complaining of free SHS. Just Google their names and free SHS. Kwesi Aqua from Sakumono. But I will suggest boarding schools are definitely paid for. Probably people are looking at going to prestigious schools like Presec, etc., etc. How about we create day branches of some of these schools?
But who tells you you can't go to?
Preps,
Who tells you you can't go to
preps.
Presec as a day student? When I was informed, I was a day student.
Right.
You can go to any of these schools as a day student.
Right.
So the boarding, I think there's a misunderstanding of these issues. So you can go to a good school as a day student.
True.
When I was in my year group, the best student in Achimota school, he was a day student. Kojo Odro, he was a day student. He was the best. In fact, he won the NSMQ for Motown. He was coming from home. So I don't know how we think that you need to be a boarder to do well. Anyway, more comments on the free SHS.
Bernard, school fees is different from boarding fees. When I was in secondary school at APAM from 2006 to 9, school fees were about 30 cedis and boarding was 67 cedis, making the total for a term 97 Ghana cedis. The government should make school fees free and boarding paid for. That is still free secondary education. Benedict Abokobi. Bernard, please. I believe any attempt to alter the free SHS, the free in free SHS, will turn into just another scholarship scheme benefiting the affluent rather than the truly needy, just like the Cocoa Scholarship, Get Fund, and others. Free SHS must remain free. The focus should be on securing dedicated funding sources, including PTA and alumni contributions, to help sustain and manage the program effectively. Once you introduce segregation, a host of issues arise: corruption, discrimination, peer disrespect among students, and more. If parents have the means, they should be encouraged to contribute to a fund, but do not touch the free in the SHS. I would rather have a high school graduate who becomes a skilled mason or carpenter than one who never had the opportunity to attend high school at all. You didn't add your name. Bernard, your point of boarding being made paid is good, but another suggestion is for the government to set a fixed amount to be paid by boarders and day to be made free. Eric from Koforidua. Bernard and team, please, anyone who can send his ward to the Montessori and expensive basic schools must pay for free for senior high school. Kobe from Tadi. Bernard, please. This is simple. Parents who can pay should let their wards be boarders. Those who can't pay should let their wards be day students. That's why the E-blocks were built, and most of them are day schools. Good morning, Bernard and team.
Morning.
With the increase in numbers at the schools and looking at the teacher-to-student ratio, the quality of education should also be taken into consideration. Wisdom from Gomwa Akotse.
Okay.
Good morning, Bernard.
Morning.
A placement of students to boarding or day schools is done at the placement center. However, parents whose children are placed as day students with the help of some school authorities manage to change day students to boarding, inflating the number of students to be fed by the government. You can check from all schools in the country, hence the inadequate food in the schools. Godfred Kudzo Akpanya from Okushibiade. Okay, so on the matter of free SHS, one, how many ordinary Ghanaians who benefit most from the free SHS were invited to the forum?
Okay.
Two, this attempt to get the NDC to introduce some form of payment, no matter how small the amount, might be political suicide.
See what I
Three,
said?
this suicide may not be seen in 2028 elections due to the massive goodwill the president and the NDC as presently, but will come up strongly after 2028. 4. My advice is that the government should be innovative. Find taxes which will
not look like stealing from the people and dedicate it towards the free SHS.
Okay, the NDC should do everything possible to avoid this sweet temptation. We have elections to win. He's looking at election. Okay.
I told you. Some
Says
people
we
are
have
looking at this
election
from
to
politics.
win after 2028. Dr. Felix Kojo Bessa Sovo. Send that through. This must be the man. Okay. Hello, guys. I am from Doma Hinko. My mom is a subsistence farmer. My dad is not alive. I have done very well in my GHS exams. All my life, I wanted to go to Fanspem school. Are you saying I can't fulfill this dream because I can't pay for boarding school? I have passed well enough to attend any school in Ghana, yet I cannot afford. So why am I stuck in a day school? Nana Jiabo,
I can answer that question.
From Jamaica.
The state has not promised you infant film school. The state has promised you an education. If your affordability can afford a day school, go there. That's all. This is an emotional point that you want to go to infant film school your whole life. You get it? You can get a good education in a day school, or you can go to an auntie in Cape Coast and do infant film as a day student.
No, but even in this one, you live in Domahingo. Why are you running from St. James?
Which is also an equally good school, and going to Phantom School.
One of the best schools in the country.
You see,
why would you skip St. James?
I think that we have to. we have
St. James will be an hour away from you.
We have to generate the issues well. Nana Jiabo, I don't think your point holds water.
Moving on from Nana Jiabo from Kingston in Jamaica. Instead of saying that only boarding schools should pay, we should say that we are paying only for tuition, books, and other teaching.
Actually, I didn't say only boarding school should pay. I said people should pay for boarding.
So room and board.
Every school, there are many schools that have boarding and day. So if you go as a day student, you don't pay. If you go as a boarder, you pay for your feeding and where you sleep. Simple. That's all. Because it's normal. It's not. I don't even know how this is confusing anybody. Anyway, let's read a few more and move to our next
Dear
issue.
Bernard, the school placement system is the best for a selection of students or parents who can pay or not. The school, that is JHS, the student comes from, gives an indication of the payment power of their parents. Niyama from Teshi sent that. Your idea defeats the whole idea of free SHS, i.e. equal opportunities in every category of schools. If we go with your idea, the likes of pre-sex, infant sperms, gays will be only for the elite.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I went to Presec as a day student for Form 1. And there are many people who go to good schools as day students. The point is about getting access to the education. Boarding is just for those who cannot come from home. You get it? So I feel like we have to, we probably need to broadcast the National Education Forum live so we can hear the various submissions because they went across the country.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've created a platform to hear what people are saying across. You get it? Because they didn't do a big forum, they did regional fora. And they are sort of aggregating their findings into a big event. I hope they recorded it because it'd be nice to hear what people have
It's
said.
also interesting to look at the points of those who doubt. So like Eric, for instance, in the sense that those who have and would normally consider just the straight boarding option. There are also a significant chunk of persons who perhaps, even though they have, just don't want to pay and have always looked to game the system.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. When the trend started showing that kids who wanted to get into category A schools from private schools were now finding it difficult.
Parents push their ones to public schools.
We started seeing an increment in enrollment in JHS 2, JHS 3 in public schools. So somebody would attend St. Teresa's from up to Form 2. As soon as he gets to Form 3, he's registered at Bodizanko LA Primary School to go and write the BC there. And we started seeing a lot of that. And that was because people felt this was a way we could game the system. So
isn't the broader question, why was the system perceived to be discriminating against people from private schools.
Yes,
I understand. Exam should be merit based and not.
I understand.
You know, that's the point that Lady Madam Benning on the panel yesterday made. That make it meritorious, so that don't punish people for working hard. Don't punish people for also having
affluence.
The thing is really messed up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
I think the problem
might also look to game the system.
I think the problem is just the fact that the schools are just people just perceive. Let me not even say whether they are is a different. The perception that there's a different value of education in different schools is one of the main issues we have. Because if you look at it, a lot of the arguments are people won't be able to go to certain schools if we institute certain reforms. So if there are a lot of the schools were made better, a lot of day schools were improved, a lot of schools around the country were improved. Because this idea that everyone has to go to Cape Coast if they want a good education is part of the problem. Because now everyone is thinking to themselves, if you make me go to whatever secondary school I have to go to in Bono or Northeast, you are depriving me of a good education. That's what's coming out in their messages.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, the free SHS created a problem of numbers. So you are right, there needs to be expansion of both infrastructure and quality. So there has to be, like, we need more schools to accommodate the numbers. And I believe that that's a very big part of the discussion that's been had. But even beyond that, sustaining free for everybody in an environment where people are also paying 15 to 20K. You get my point? Is it a sustainable way of running a system? Like, government should tax us more to get money to pay for people to go to Presec for free. Whereas they can go to Presec as day students for free. If they want to sleep in boarding, they pay for it. For me, the only reason I see that, because for me this is common sense, but it's politics. So because the previous government also politicized the free SHS, this government in opposition also took a position against it, and in a way,
they rather promised that they'll keep it.
You don't get it. I'm saying that in the beginning, they said you guys can't do it. It's not. It doesn't. That's not the way to go. Okay. And Akufo-Addo did it. So when people said, NDC said we can't do it, we've done it. So we did it in our first year. So now NDC will come and spoil it. So now NDC has come and saying that this thing, I don't think it makes sense to keep it the way it is. You are listening to people telling you that this thing, Otunfo is telling you, Adair is telling you. So most people are telling you that the thing, you get it. And then NDC people are like, no. If you listen to them, they are setting a trap for you. Yes, you will lose goodwill.
That's the point.
So you see, this is the thing. We are not behaving. We are not thinking about the future of our children. We are thinking about whether our party wins elections or not. And I think that's very problematic. We should be thinking about the social cost of running such a porous secondary education system, and ask ourselves, who's potentially forgive us if you have 5 million people educated who basically can't do anything with the education they get? Do you get it? That's how we should think. But the problem is that we've been there's this kind of crazy
that fight
mindset in Ghana that like
nobody's political.
MPP people are now so like, okay, why didn't the people talk in MPP time? People spoke.
They
to
did.
be fair, Adair said Adair has been consistent about free SHS. He's never said he supported it. You get it? Maybe he didn't shout as loud, but he said it. Okay, so I feel like people need to put, that what is happening in the schools is not sustainable. Yet you are saying they shouldn't fall for the trap. They should keep it that way, because if they change it, no, they'll lose. Like, is it like Ghana? Don't we think? So are you saying that if people's educational outcomes get better, they will still punish the government? People should judge the government on the performance of the students, not on this populist idea of we've kept free HHS. Or do you understand? Like, it's almost like voters don't think, or they think voters don't think.
I mean, they think, but they have different priorities. Like, you are thinking about quality. Some people are thinking, can I send my child to school? Yes or no?
But you
it's
can.
a binary.
But that's my point. But you can send your child to school.
But you see, that's what I'm saying, Bernard. In their head, if you are telling me that I have to send them to the SHS 30 minutes away, you have what's the word I'm looking for? You are rather not giving them the best chance of success, because my child should have gone to Infancy or Achimoto or something.
But in every country that we look forward up to, people go to schools in their counties. In fact, the only time you can send your child away from a school within your vicinity is if you are paying for boarding.
In America, it's actually illegal to send your child to a school outside your school district. And if you want to send your child to a school outside your school district, you have to pay.
You got that. So this is so. Are we so? For me, public discourse has been. I blame for this. I blame us, media. Do you know what we've done? For the past 25 years of free radio, we've just put politicians on air. So basically, they've dumped all of us.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what they've done. I'm telling you. For 25 years since I started this job, we've put politicians to discuss everything. So basically, people are primed to think who will get political advantage or not. People are not primed to think what is the best thing to do for the country. So somebody sending you a text and saying that if they review free SHS, they will lose it. Not in 20. They will lose beyond 2028.
He didn't even say they. He said we.
You see, so it is because we have given. I'm telling you. You see, public discourse is very important for public policy. I've said this before. If you have bad quality public discourse, you will not have good public policy.
That one is true.
And if you have bad public policy, you have bad outcomes. So and this is the thing, we don't subject things to thorough debate. We talk a lot. You know, there's people confuse multiplicity of argument with quality of debate. They confuse having voice to being accountable. They are not the same thing. You can have 200 people talking. That doesn't mean the debate is good quality. You can have what do you call it? You can have plenty radio stations. But that doesn't mean that government listens to the people. You know, and we have to know the nuance and the leap between just having this people talking, and having high quality discourse which goes to the key issues. So, like, for example, I think at this point there should be some agreement as to the main options, because you've had like 3 weeks of National Education Forum and a few Achimota-like programs. There should be, in Graphic Times, BNFT, Citi Joy, some agreement that the government will review free SHS, but these are the three options. You see, and I'll give you an example. When you come to the issue of voting for MDCs, we discussed it to a point where there were at least 3 options. Yeah. We knew that you are either going to appoint them, you are either going to appoint and vote, or you are going to vote fully. And if you are voting, is it partisan or non-partisan? At least the options were clear. As we sit here today, we don't even know what the options are, because we are just talking. And it's a failure of elite discussion. It's painful. You know, it's almost like people are even misconstruing your basic idea of making day school free and borders pay. People can't even get a hang of what that even means. So they are like, no. It means I can't go to phantom school. It also means that we, the people who regulate public discourse, are not doing a good job. And it includes me. Okay? So, for example, after yesterday's Achimota program, we should be able to do a feature to explain or summarize what each panelist said as media. Because they've had 4 hours of discourse. Nick Rankrani saying, you get it? Because people don't have time to listen. So media needs to do a better job to say, okay, look, after the Achimota speaks, here are the key proposals. 1, 2, 3, 4. Page 16 of Daily Graphic. 4 proposals from Achimota speaks. Then you cover all the free SHS discussions at the Education Forum. Come up with the top 3 proposals. By the time Haruna Idrisu holds that conference, he knows the issues. But it will shock you that we'll go to that program. Let's do a public discussion. Somebody raise his hand. I'm Kofi Mensah from this secondary school. Please, are you going to cancel free SHS? You get it? It's like we are not making progress.
You see, Bernard, I think where we've reached, I think because the genie is out of the bottle, even the review is going to be hard. Because of all the campaign promises, the political thing has made the arguments go a certain way. Right? So I think where we are now, the only reform can be the assignment of schools, to be honest. I don't think they can ever put a situation where you say some people will pay for anything, because there's this idea now that free SHS means that room and board is free. This idea is
everything is free.
Everything has come to, because if they had done what we are saying now, that if we are making tuition free, so if you have to go to boarding school, you pay room and board.
Yeah.
And if you are going to day school, you don't pay anything. And maybe you pay exam fees or whatever. If we had done something like that, let's say that was the model we had started with, we won't be having this discussion now. I think right now we are too. I have an idea. I
have an idea. The government should get a research company or the statistical service to do a survey on what people expect around free SHS and aggregate the results. So they can let Musa Danko or somebody do a survey to say, free SHS, will you be willing to pay for day and go for day free and body, whatever?
Yeah.
And then get the public view on it in a very nuanced way. I think
that was the only solution.
To get the public's view on it.
I think the way the idea is now, once you start introducing pay for this part, pay for that part, it won't work. I think people have just become so attuned to the idea that everything is free.
But you know,
the only way you can fix it is to say that maybe there's no more boarding school. something like that. So now you remove that cost completely. It has to be something that will change.
People won't get the nuance of trying to.
Yeah, I don't think that I think what will have to change is something about our education system itself, rather than
I get it.
trying
Just
to
hold
fix
on
the
for me.
payment issues.
8 minutes past 9. This is an ongoing discussion, which we hope to continue until the forum is held. We will do better in the way we communicate these outcomes, because I sincerely think we've not helped the publics to come to a certain clarity.
Okay.
There's too much clutter, there's too much noise, and we have not helped as well. So maybe, Caleb, we need to be more consistent with our PSHS programming.
Sure.
And in subsequent days, interview people who have clear views on one way or the other.
Right.
So that the public at least knows what the options are. I think we owe it to the public to do that. Because you cannot have people having this structureless discussion in this 11th hour. It's clearly a failure of we, the mediators of public discourse. So I take some of the blame for that. Caleb, I know you want to say something, but I need to say something quickly about the exciting news from Omni Basic Bank.
Right.
All right, so on Saturday, 22nd March, there's a big one happening at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. Starts at 5:30 a.m. prompt. Is the 7th Health Walk. Join this big walk, because your health starts with you. And we'll talk more about that shortly with the team coming in to talk to us. Later in the morning, we'll bring you another episode of our on-air series for the Heritage Month. And that's a conversation that's at 9:30. Get Diamond Cement. The 32.5 hour is affordable for most projects. They're also the 42.5 hour for specialized projects. For the past 25 years, Diamond Cement has been your leader in high quality cement, rated green by the EPA. Call us on 0244313368. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond. Take a shortish break. When I come back, we'll be speaking to friends from Money Basic Bank about their health walk, and then we'll continue with the discourse as and where it leads us. Stay with us.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Ever wondered why the finest treasures of Africa feel like hidden secrets? The craftsmanship, the passion, the untold stories. Well, Ghana, the wait is over. Afro quality is here. Afro quality is your destination for the finest collection of African products. From beautifully crafted, ready-to-wear clothes, organic skincare products, bags, shoes, and fashion accessories. All made in Africa and curated from Ghana to Kenya, Rwanda to South Sudan, South Africa to Nigeria, and all over the continent. Every item is made for those who value the best. Find us in East Legon on the American House Road on top of Say Cheers. Visit at afroquality.com on Instagram or TikTok or 053339235. Afroquality, because you deserve the finest.
For free. Provident Insurance Bema Quentua Odessa. If January equal see March 2025. What the insurance one some shop Provident Insurance and sa. Some renew and now we are for free. Penya Chadia P. Emu fuel coupons and Provident Souvenirs Papa B. Enti wo change. One and WhatsApp assistant or buy and chat is here. 024-242-6396. Obeso to out Obetumin Swakwa 15 branches. Ya to apete Ghana no mobia. Obetumin Sunny brokers and agents in the mobia this was. Janami and Sunny na Provident Insurance as some Ghana man some power Makonia Badi wa Wobambo Massa special for you for Congo Kaisan Sheka Krawo.
With Provident, man, you're covered.
Electroland Ramadan promotion is here. Get unbeatable deals on top brands Samsung, TCL, Media, and Nasco. Get Nasco 166-liter top mount freezer at 3,999 Ghana cedis plus a free flask. Nasco tabletop freezer starting from 1,999 Ghana cedis plus a free flask. Nasco chest freezer at 3,899 Ghana cedis plus free Nasco deep fryer. Get our Media 198-liter chest freezer at a a whopping discount from 5,249 Ghana cedis to 3,999 Ghana cedis. For 4,499 Ghana cedis, you can get a TCL bottom mount fridge plus free NASCO meat grinder. Get our Samsung top load washing machine at 6,499 Ghana cedis plus free NASCO deep fryer. Rush to our showrooms and authorized dealers across Ghana. Call 0503 159 739 for inquiries. Electroland, home of affordable luxury appliances and electronics.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Other dear do.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
Gum ANC Bomeka Entity Patema Phone some keka. Julie Summon Sat Yanko grown a woman back. But when you come and Hona check it, one Yanko fa Fameco, Family Wope, Midiminiato for Mobile the Wow, never said. Don't tea, I'm a mididio, yeah. Oh, don't ya, mammy, damn no. The 3-year boyfriend soon I pay my share, my way, wine. Into your door, yeah, bro.
Oh, okay, no play makes Jack a dull boy. So I guess that's where Omni Basic is coming from. The bank that's not just another bank. They're here to talk to us about this weekend. Echa Ahin Adokufo is the group head of legal and recovery. Hey. And she's also the company secretary. So you alone. You're head of legal, you're head of recovery, you're also the company secretary. It's good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Wonderful. You are not here to talk about legal issues.
No, not at all.
You are not here to recover any money.
No.
I don't owe you guys.
No.
Okay, wonderful. So you guys are all in jerseys. You're looking sporty. What's going on with Omni Bisek? What's the occasion?
Well, I'm sure you know that Omni Basic Bank has been organizing health walks since 2023.
Okay.
In fact, we've had about 6 of them already, all very successful. This one that we'll be talking about will be the 7th edition of our health walk.
Oh, wow.
So that's why we're here, to talk about that.
So is this annual, is this biannual, is it quarterly? What's the frequency with which you do this?
It's quarterly.
Every quarter?
Every quarter we have the health walk.
And they're just more fitness, Namupe.
Not at all.
So what makes the 7th one special?
Oh, I mean, as we've said, we have had it 6 times. Even though all of them have been very successful. When I talk about success, I mean that the numbers have increased from maybe about 1,000 to now expecting about 2,500 and over.
All right.
We had more than 2,000 before at the last one. So it keeps improving. So we expect that this one will even be bit bigger. We've moved from where we started from Burma Camp. We outgrew the place. So we moved to the State House. we've also outgrown that place.
Mm.
We are now at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. That's where we would start from.
Wow.
Yes, and end at. Yeah.
But why?
I think right after COVID, and also we realized that a lot of people had been getting all kinds of diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, and all these, health-related issues. So I think in conversations at the bank, we all realized that there was a need for us to take our health more seriously. And I think that our managing director has also been very interested in these health matters. And so we all decided that there was something we had to do about it. And that is what we came up with for the public and for our staff.
So this is not just for your staff. So
no,
other people can join.
Yes.
So what will happen? Are there any specific activities around the walk?
Yes, the main item the main activity would be the walk.
Okay.
Which on average has been about 12 kilometers.
Oy.
Yes.
12 kilometers?
Yes, that's the average.
That's a bit of from where to where?
Yes. For this one, we are starting from the University of Ghana. We are going right up the road to Opebia House, if you know Opebia.
Yes.
We take a left, and then we take another left
back towards
Shell, Airport Shell. And then at the roundabout at Shell, we go straight back to the main road to the University of Ghana.
Okay.
And then we go back.
So we use the Woolworth side. So like you go as if airport bypass kind of route, or you just turn left to the main 37 route.
Left to the main, yes.
And then you go back to Legon.
Back to Legon, to the sports stadium.
12 kilometers, 6
yes,
in,
more
6
than
out.
That. Yes.
Wow.
We've done 13 before.
And you are walking briskly. Are you seeing Jama, or you are just walking quietly, slowly? What's the pace? It's aggressive walking.
I think it's moderate walking. Yes, and aggressive walking. We allow people to walk at their pace because we realize that it's not everybody who is on the same level.
I see. So this is Saturday the 22nd. What time is this?
5:30 a.m. prompt.
Hey, that's early.
Yes, but that's when we
5:30 a.m.
Yes,
sharp.
Please.
But how long do you think this will take? Maybe by 8 o'clock you should be back.
Yes,
2 hours?
under 2 hours.
We've
done it under 2 hours.
So definitely by 8 you should be back at the Legon Legon Stadium.
Yes, please.
Will you give us food?
Yes, we have a lot of different kinds of food and refreshments that we will be providing. We are also aware that it's important that our health is taken into consideration. So we have that also provided for.
There's definitely going to be networking as well.
Yes.
Great. So any message to the public ahead of Saturday's health walk?
I think there's a part of this health walk that we didn't talk about. We also allow the public to exhibit their we have vendors selling items that they have. We don't restrict it to our customers.
Good.
At this point, we have about 120 people that may come to exhibit their wares and also sell items at discounted rates. So that's also an attraction of the health work. It's like a trade fair, and it's free for everybody who exhibits.
So I should just come in. So there will be food sold and stuff like this.
Yes, there will be food. There's water. There are machines for health like treadmills, etc. All those kinds of.
This will be at the stadium, stadium precincts.
At the stadium.
I see.
The stadium.
Amazing stuff. Do I need to register? Or I should just show up?
You should just show up. It's free.
In my jersey.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Will I get only basic T-shirts to buy?
We will consider that.
I like there's a new one. There's a whitish one B. If you give me some, I'll come.
Oh, then you.
But I want my size because usually the T-shirts that Citi do, they are too big. They use some NC size. That's the problem.
We have
so every time I wear it, it's like a blanket.
We have extra small.
I need a smaller one. Yeah, they have this big one that he wears. Every time they do it, it's like pullover. You know pullover.
We have
so you give me one.
Small.
So me, I want if you give me some. If you give me some. I can also do only basic jersey.
Yeah.
And write on it number 8.
For you.
Yes.
We'll do that.
You do for me.
Yeah. We'll see if we will do that.
No, I like this. I really, really like this. I think it's a fantastic opportunity. We'll people from other branches come.
Yes.
So it's like a fellowship of the bank customers and stuff like this. But how is the bank doing? Are you doing well?
Very well. I'm sure you've seen us all over. And
You're on the Heritage Caravan, making a lot of noise. So
apart from the Heritage Caravan, we are everywhere. We
You're
are
everywhere.
all the bridges in Accra.
Okay.
Yes.
I think you're doing well. I think your new name is an interesting one. Not just another bank. Okay.
Yes.
So you're obviously more than a bank. You do more. You do more. All right. We hope to see more. We've been speaking to the company secretary and the group head. The part of the work I like is the recovery part. Head of legal and recovery. What do you do? You tag people.
No, we just recover.
You say they tag, you know what it means.
I understand. I know very well.
I'm just messing up.
We don't.
She's the company secretary. It's a very big post, though. You know, I'm joking. It's a serious post. If you can't have a board without company secretary, it's a huge post. So she's here to talk about the work, and I think it's very important. As she said, COVID. I think a lot of times people take their health for granted until they don't have it anymore. And I think the fact that it's become quarterly means they want to make it a lifestyle. So you can add a jamboree and a bazaar, music.
We have all that.
So that it becomes like we just stay till 12. We don't want to go home. So just keep us there. Give us food.
If I may, all these things are there.
Oh, okay.
And the previous ones, we've had all these. People have stayed till about 4.
Hey.
Yes, because there are games and there are all sorts. So
it's a work that becomes a bazaar.
Yes.
By the end of the day.
Yes, it is.
We've been speaking to Echa Ahin Adokufo with support from Niam Ponsakwir, who's wearing a Man U jersey. I don't know why. He decided to come and provoke me this morning with this Man U jersey.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Chrissy Parry.
Yeah, we're in Celtic.
Yeah.
Chrissy Parry.
She's also the committee chairperson.
Oh, so there's a whole committee. Charlie, you boy are wild. There's a whole committee on the thing.
Yeah, so she's the committee chairperson.
All right. Can we bring kids?
Oh yes.
Yes.
All right. Cool. Thank you guys. It's good to see you. Oh, Niam Ponsa. He used to work here many years ago.
Open a door. We be the hammer the say we pen your hot. No champagne, that's what I met. Would on me here, me home for me 2 hours. Down here, me name, then I may shy. In some shabby team, my main can I am right. Follow me to paradise. I can see the future when I look into your eyes. Offer time be my offer time be Benz. Jimmy D make you no listen to your friends. Kwame George and Ran, I'm in telling the sense. Yes, remember Suban Basa, it depends. Lord, if I'm to say blue, come on the pen, worry, make sure the blue. True, my baby, you fine. Make sure we cover one time.
Oh, don't you, I'm a mididio, yeah. Oh, don't you, I'm a midami, no. The 3-year boyfriend, soon I pay my share, my way, why? Into your door, yeah, bro. Oh, they bright. Oh, yeah, bro. Rama,
It's 9:27 on the City Breakfast Show still. So you know where you go. Saturday 22nd, the University of Ghana Stadium from 5:30 in the morning. Go and join the walkers. When we come back, Heritage on Air series is in full blast.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Hi, Mom, it's me, Kwame.
Hey, Kwame. How are you?
Mom, I'm fine, oh.
Okay.
You know something?
No, tell me.
I'm looking for a complete furniture set for my new place.
Kwame, I've told you before, the only one place you should go, eh?
Yeah, Mom, but I need a mattress to fit my bed.
Ash foam.
I need a bed to fit my room.
Ash foam.
What about a sofa where go relax my body?
Ash foam.
Wardrobes to fit all my clothes?
Ash foam.
What about linens and pillows for sweet dreams?
Kwame. Ash foam.
Mommy, that I had a feeling you. Ashford all the way.
From mattresses to beds, sofas, wardrobes, linens, pillows, and more. Don't waste time and visit any Ashford showroom across the country or call our hotline at 0243 200 729. Ashford. Feel it, know it.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Mom, I need my school fees. Mommy, chop money. Crash it. Mommy, rent. Emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial *770# for money emergencies and chop life.
For emergency access to your bank accounts, transfers, utility payments, loans, and more, dial *770#. Bank on the go even without data with EcoBank's short code for digital banking. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
First impressions matter. Make yours unforgettable with the irresistible scent of Princess Body Mist and Roll-On. Designed for every lady who wants to leave a lasting impression wherever she goes. And for our gentlemen, there is Style Up Perfume and Roll-On. Elevate your presence with a confident, masculine fragrance that keeps you dry and fresh all day. Because your fragrance should speak before you do, use Princess Body Mist and Roll-On and Style Up Perfume and Roll-On. Your daily essentials for smelling good from dawn till dusk. Princess and Style Up. Smell good and feel great together. The GC brand. It's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Hello, welcome to another wonderful episode of our Heritage Month Conversations. Now I am coming to you right from the center of Accra, where I am on the Asafo-Achenete Road that leads from the General Post Office all the way to the old Palladium Cinema, where we have the Wesley Methodist Church, which you see in your shots. At the traffic lights, you have what we call the Hanson Road. So on the Asafo-Achenete Road, you have the St. Mary's Anglican Church, an old church, and then you have the Usher Clinic next door, and then, but we are here to talk about African independent churches and how a number of them had come out from the Orthodox churches, especially the Methodist Church. And that's why we are here. To have this discussion, I have my friend Kweku Daku Ankra once again with me, who is going to take us through. My name is Samuel Atamensa. Just stay tuned. We'll take this short break. When we come back, we'll delve into the story of African independent churches.
At Sugar Laundry and Cleaning Service, we take off residential and commercial laundry and cleaning services. So for the laundry, we wash, press, fold, and dry clean, carpet cleaning, power robes, sofas, bags, wedding gowns, suits, jackets, etc. We do general cleaning for households and institutions who are moving in and out of their homes. We are equipped, we are convenient, we are affordable, and we have a state-of-the-art laundry room that takes care of all your needs. Contact us today on 0598 02 4224, as well as 0241 815733. Remember to reach us on our social media platforms at Enshida Laundry and Cleaning Service on Facebook, Instagram, and also on Google. Enshida Laundry and Cleaning Services, always at your service.
Welcome back. My name is Samuel Atamensa. We are celebrating our Heritage Month, and we are talking about the African independent churches. Kweku, how's it going?
It's fine.
It's good to see you again. In our earlier episode, we talked about the Negrian Church. We talked about the Divine Healers Church, or Brother Lawson, or Yesu Bam, Charlie. When I say the Yesu Bam, Charlie, the feeling is too deep. Yesu Bam, Charlie. If you have malaria and you shout it, you see something. You understand? Yeah. But this one, we are moving into the likes of the Awoyo churches, or different cancer churches. They used to be very prominent in our system. We don't hear so much of them, but we don't want to lose the history, and that's why. So people, you are welcome once again. Kweku, so tell us about this. Is it Awoyo? You call it Nakaba.
Or 12 Apostles Church.
12 Apostles Church. Tell us about the 12 Apostles Church.
So 12 Apostles Church, its history started at Hafasini.
Oh, Hafasini?
Yes, in the Nzema area. It was a movement started by Prophet Wade Harris.
Prophet who?
Wade Harris.
Wade Harris. Is he Ghanaian?
No, he's a Liberian crew from the Gribo area who sent his spiritualism activity into the western province of the Gold Coast, and particularly around the Hafasinin in Zama areas, all the way into La Côte d'Ivoire. So in the course of his work, he won a lot of souls within the community, and many new people came into the Christendom. In his work, he was a kind of person who also engaged in the use of the cross, where he used the cross to heal. When people are suffering from certain sicknesses, Wade Harris will use it and touch the forehead and sometimes in the abdomen and heal people of their ailments, as well as engaging in miraculous activity with the Bible.
Wow.
And as a result of his activity there, he was able to convert 2 Abosomofo or priests.
Are you serious?
Yes, 2 Abosomofo.
So this is Wade Harris.
Wade Harris.
A crew from Liberia.
Liberia.
And he started the 12 Apostles. Is it 12
no,
apostles?
he didn't start the 12 Apostles. He called it Harris Movement.
Oh, it was just Harris
Movement in his activities.
Okay.
So he was able to start with that spiritual movement around that time, healing, meeting souls, as well as spreading the gospel. And in this work, which was fully Africanized, he converted 2 Abosomofo, which was Mami Tani. Mami Tani, as her name suggests, means one who is born by Tano River.
Wow.
Tani. So she was a Abosomofo or herbalist as well as spiritualist who healed people in the community.
Which community?
Which he was coming from Axim, around the Axim area. And then there was another man called Kweku Nakaba. That is Kweku Nakaba. Kweku Nakaba also was a Abosomofo at Esua area in Nzema. And he was also involved in herbalist work as well as spiritism. And they were converted. When they were converted by Wade Harris, they changed their name. Metan was given the name Grace Adam. And then the Kweku Nakaba was also given the Christian name James. And after their baptism, these people put themselves into the activities of Wade Harris. Indeed, Grace was later to be married by Grace by Wade Harris.
Oh, I see.
As one of Wade Harris himself came with 2 Liberian wives.
Hey.
He married Grace and other Nzema woman called Mokwa and others. So he had 4 wives. When he left, his way of doing things.
So the Wade Harris came into this mission with 2 wives already.
Yes.
And then he also earned himself 2 more wives.
2 more wives.
Ghanaian wives.
Ghanaian wives.
Oh, he was
because
living
that
life.
is a way of, acclimatizing yourself or immersing yourself into the system. So he did so. After all, his belief in Christianity was that polygamy is not wrong.
Okay.
And as a result, he preached this thing to people that there's nothing wrong being polygamous and also being a Christian.
Okay.
So that was at the core of it. So when he left, his way of doing things were adopted by Grace and James.
But
James
he left. He divorced. He left Grace here.
No, he left Grace here because Grace was in the missionary activity.
Okay.
So Grace, in fact, at first, they divided their ways. Grace was involved in own spiritism while James was also doing his work. And then somewhere along the line, they all came into contact while doing their work and missionary activities. They came in contact with James McKeown. Again. So they joined James McKeown and this time learned from the other ways of apostolicism. And with the
McKeown at this time was still with the Apostolic
Church. He has not formed the Pentecost Church yet. And so while they were with McKeown, there was some sort of disagreement. So James's nephew, called James Hackman, who also came into the church, and they also spread the gospel of the Harris movement. That time the church has not yet been called Nakaba or the 12 Apostles yet. So in so doing, they started opening gardens. The garden is where they have a circle where in the center of it is a very big, tall cross with a water underneath, which they use for a lot of miraculous functions. So one of the first person to find a place from the Axim was Kojo George, who came to Kromanti. The reason why Kromanti became their capital, he came to Kromanti and then had the first garden at Kromanti, and then started preaching the word of God as well as doing some miraculous stuff in the community. Then one day there was an issue between him and the community, where he prophesied that a whale that had died and has been washed ashore to the Kromanti is a deity, and so the people should not eat it. The community didn't listen to his advice and they ate the whale, and then it led to an epidemic in the community.
Wow.
And he had to pray for them to be healed from the epidemic. As a result, the community believed in him that he is indeed the man of God.
Yeah.
And in so doing, they became core members of Grace and James Nakabe's movement.
Yeah.
And as a result, they moved on and they founded their Nakaba or Awoyo movement, which we know today as the 12 Apostles Church.
Oh, okay.
So that's how the 12 Apostles Church came about.
So it really started in Kromanti.
Yes, originally at Hafasini.
Yeah.
Moving where members like Kojo George built the garden at Kromanti, where later most of the members found themselves at Kromanti. So they often do have conventions, Awoyo conventions at Kromanti, where they came to see as a headquarters before moving to KJB. Okay, where? KJB. Okay,
as in KJB?
Yes, no, within the area where they settled.
Okay.
So that is the 12th Apostle Church and where they came to settle.
But why do they call it Awoyo? Because
yes, so
Awoyo for Podo Bomb, Namusma Dodgen, Nabocha Copim from, Nabocha Roro.
So the church is known for their use of holy water for miracles and healing. That holy water, they put it often beneath the cross. So they believe that the angels of the Lord come in for a visitation on the cross. And when they come, they purify and anoint the water, which is used for miraculous purposes. Again, they are also known for the use of their God. The God is the
instrument. That's
the instrument with strings around it. They believe that that instrument has a strong spiritual purpose, and they take their inspiration from the Bible. That when the Israelites were fleeing from the Egyptians and they crossed the Red Sea, Miriam, sister of Moses, was using the God and was dancing and praising God with it. So in their belief, the God, when you shake it, it chases away demons. So in any performance of their miracles, the God is shaken heavily, and the higher you shake it,
so it's shaking heavily.
So when they are shaking, they say, "Oh, no." So the community call it.
Not demons. They
will gone.
2025 demons, Charlie, they are stubborn.
Oh, they can't say that when you're shaking. So that our you use this thing to chase away the demons during their cleansing, during their healing movements. And this church is also well known for the way they get people into their church, what you call receiving new converts. When you want to join this church, first you are washed thoroughly with sponge.
You mean you take a bath?
Yes, you take a bath.
Yourself or somebody will aid you?
The Osofupenim will lead.
Jesus.
They will wash you with sponge and soap thoroughly.
No, hang on. Hang on. People, no, we have to take a break. Because this one, we have to take a break. Because when you join the church, somebody, as they say, it go bath you. It will tear you proper bath before they will. I don't know whether it's still the same. Is it still the same?
Yeah, in some areas, but over the time, because of the changes.
Okay, but it was a central.
It was central point because you need cleansing.
So look, this is the Heritage Month Conversations with Kweku Dakwankra. We are talking about African independent churches, and what you just heard was the Awoyo Church. Yeah, you call it Apostles.
12
Apostles Church. We all call it Awoyo. Look, this is the first time I'm hearing. I've heard a Nakaba, but 12 Apostles, this is the first time I'm here. I'm sure most of you are also hearing for the first time. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll start from where we had our bath. This is Channel 1 TV.
At N Sugar Laundry and Cleaning Service, we take off residential and commercial laundry and cleaning services. So for the laundry, we wash, press, fold, and dry clean, carpet cleaning, power robes, sofas, bags, wedding gowns, suits, jackets, etc. We do general cleaning for households and institutions who are moving in and out of their homes. We are equipped, we are convenient, we are affordable, and we have a state-of-the-art laundry room that takes care of all your needs. Contact us today on 0598 02 4224. as well as 0241815733. Remember to reach us on our social media platforms at N Sugar Laundry and Cleaning Service on Facebook, Instagram, and also on Google. N Sugar Laundry and Cleaning Services, always at your service.
Welcome back. My name is Samuel Atamensa, and I'm here with Kweku Dakwankra. We are having Heritage Month conversations, and we are talking about African independent churches. There are so many things that we have taken for granted about our own history. Some of those things come back to, if you like, catch up with us later in life, you know. And at times, knowledge about these things also go to explain why we do things the way we do. So African independent churches, we're just talking about the Awoyo Church, you know, where people are initiated into the church through bathing. So you are given a bath by the leader of the church. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So Kweku, tell us more about that, and then we'll move to other churches.
So the leader of that specific church, or the pastor in today's sense, will then bath you. So men will be bathed by men.
Okay.
Women will be bathed by women.
Okay.
Unless
there's a problem.
Unless there's a problem, which a man ought to come in with for a healing purposes. After this spiritual bath, the person is then brought to the church and is welcomed and become a member. Initiated properly into the church.
Wow.
Because the bathing is to cleanse the person of all the past sins that are with him. So it is not just a bath, it's a symbolic spiritual bath, which is to change the person and to be cleansed, to be welcomed as a new soul.
You don't know whether they still do that.
Yes, while many believe that it is still done in the village communities, in the modern cities, practices have changed to meet the exigencies of the time. So that is why modernity and its effect on certain practices. So churches, just like all living organisms, also have been going through adaptations.
Yeah.
So this is what we see with them. And this church, yes, also believe in healing. Particular Friday healings.
Friday healings.
Yes, where they pray very hard, shaking the gorge, and when they bring the person during the healing, a person is made to go half naked to the down. And when he's going half naked to the down, he is begin to shake when they are praying with the Bible. Sometimes Bible can be laid on the head or sometimes on the abdomen. And the person will be shaking, and it takes different people. The higher the person shake, the more they believe the spirit is also working and coming out of the person. And they do these things, and then the person gets his healing.
All right.
Again, this church also believe in polygamy. As you can see, Wade himself, as I explained earlier, was a man who had his 2 wives before he gained additional 2 wives upon coming
So you have established that the Wade Harris man and his Harris movement, the work he started would eventually
lead to the formation of the 12 Apostles Church, which at the core, the charismatic leader who was doing all the spiritual performances, healing, and so on, was Grace Mami Teni. But unfortunately, her co-founder, John Kwesi Nakaba, will have his name attributed to the church.
The movement,
which for me, I found it in the earliest time as one of the things that went against the role of the woman in the church. That notwithstanding, we also see the earlier incursion of women into the Christendom. So we have a woman where in those days the Orthodox churches do not have women priests. But these African independent churches, starting with the Nakaba, had a woman playing a critical role in healing, in the spreading of the gospel, and in the miracle. So you could see that these churches really became the foreground for the right of women in Christendom in the Ghanaian Christian history.
Right. So that will be it for the Awoyo movement. Now, another church that was quite prominent, especially in the central region where I did my secondary education, was a church called Mozama Disco Cristo Church. I mean, as kids, the moment we heard the word disco, we thought that, hey, what's up, man? But it was so dominant and had such a serious community of loyal followers. And you care to give us a background of that as well?
So Mozama Disco Cristo Church, which is the Lord of the Cross, the Lord of the Army of the Cross Church.
The Lord of the Army of the Cross Church.
It's a Rade Asafu Akufu. So this group of people was a church actually that was born out of Methodism.
Oh, Methodist church person.
Yes, it was a Methodist
who emerged from the Methodist church. Okay.
He was
to say that the Methodist church gave birth to it, but this person used to be
a member of the Methodist church. His name is Joseph William Ejanka Apia.
Joseph William Ejanka Apia.
Joseph William Ejanka Apia. He was born in 1892 at Abura Edumufa. That is why you hear where Mami Grace
at the Edumufa prayer camp.
Yeah, prayer camp. So that is where he was born, to Mami Ama Osom and Kwesi Odum in 1892. He started his school at Abrodunko. When he was at Abrodunko, he attended the Methodist church until the Methodist church, Reverend Ato Auma, who founded the Methodist Christ Little Band, went there. And then he was the teacher. And Reverend Ato Auma was a member of a spiritual movement in the United States, the DeLoreans movement, which the church actually frowned upon. He introduced Ejanka Apia to the movement at a young age. And when he was moving to Cape Coast, Ejanka Apia followed him to Cape Coast, where he schooled. When after that, he got a job, and then he became a member of the Methodist Church, the singing band, first as a catechist. As a catechist, he was posted to Asan Akuna. When he went to Asan Akuna, he worked as a cocoa buyer for some time. And then he left to Achim Osino. Achim Osino, where he worked as a cocoa farmer. Whilst there, the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, but he did not make special use of it. And he returned to Aguna Abadom. When he came to Aguna Abadom, that was when he met a lot of people who were involved in church activity. A man called Samuel Dankwa, who at Gomua Ogban, who has started a church prayer group called the Faith Society. The Faith Society was a spiritual group that prayed every day, and the activity became well known, and they spread across central region within the Gomua enclave. Over a time, the church had a confrontation with the Methodist Church. For the Methodist Church saw their activities.
Most of them were members of the Methodist Church.
All of them were members of the Methodist Church, the Faith Society group. They were all members of the Methodist Church. But they blend African way of doing things with the original Methodism. And as a result, people accuse them of using occultism or juju in the way they do go about their things. For instance, Ejanka Appiah himself was also a well-known member of the Freemasonry, having been close to Ato, Aoma, and others who were also members of the Freemasonry. And as a result, he introduced some of the way of doing things in the mysticism and other aspects into the church, in addition to the use of the local drums and what have you. So in their prayers, the way they make noise, the way they clap hands, and so on, the church had issues with it. Mind you, this was the thing that has driven away Jacob Annaman. And these guys are reenacting.
That's from the Methodist Church.
The Methodist Church. They are reenacting what they have already dealt with Annaman and co to move away
from the Negration Church.
From the Negration Church. So as a result, in 1927, there was a confrontation when Reverend Gadiel Akwa actually made them that the way they are practicing, they should stop. When they refused to heed his warning, they were sacked.
Expelled from the Methodist Church.
Expelled from the Methodist Church. So Ejanka Appiah and his group, which is the Faith Society, which was then led by one Samuel Dankwa, who formed the Osamadin Church, or the Light Church, the Christ Light Church, will also move out to another community within the Gomua enclave. And then they moved to Gomua Famena. That was where Reverend Ejanka Appiah got to meet a woman whom he married, and he named Hannah Barnes. So Hannah Barnes was also a spiritually endowed woman who always had constant visitation. And one of the visitation, he told her husband that he has changed the name to Natalamua.
What?
Natalamua, which is a spiritual name God has given given to her. And then the husband too, the Spirit of the Lord came upon her. And then Joseph William Ejanka Appiah also became Jemisimi Ham Jehu Appiah. And so these names are spiritual names. And the place they went to stay, which is the Lord's Center, became Muzano.
Oh, okay.
So the area then became Muzano, or Old Muzano, where they started the church activism. Whilst they were there, the Spirit of the Lord also came to him again, that the woman will become the head of the church. And so therefore, her name will be Akatitibi, which is the queen of the church. And then he himself will become the king of the flock, and therefore you become Akaboha. So he became Akaboha the first.
That's why we have Akaboha.
Yes.
And then the woman is so Akatitibi.
Akatitibi. So that is the queen of the church, and the Akaboha is the king of the church. And where they stay is the Muzano, the Lord's place, the miraculous town.
So this is how it became the Muzama
Disco.
So how did the name come about? You have an idea?
It is a name that was given to him by God. He didn't set out to take the name. Everything was spiritually gifted. Through dreams, through visions.
Muzama Disco Cristo Church.
Yes.
Wow.
So that is the name.
So that
the
is
Army of the Cross of Christ Church.
The Army of the Cross of Christ Church. People, so this is where we lower the curtains on this episode. At this point, we are at Muzano, where we have the Muzama Disco Cristo Church as one of the African independent churches that emerged in Ghana. We'll be having a lot more to talk about in other episodes. My name is Samuel Atamensa, and you've been listening to Kweku Dako Ankra. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Thank you for doing and listening once again. Top of the hour, and we have the news at 10 for you. It's the birthday of Odadeɛ Mike Asafo's wife. He says, today is my wife's birthday and I want to use your platform to wish her a joyous birthday. Please let her know she's the best thing that happened to me and I love her right up to the moon and back. Rodaling Aka, Mrs. Asafo of EcoBank, happy birthday to you. Odadeɛ Michael Asafo says he loves you to the moon and back. Happy birthday to Philip Deborah Dankwa, Principal Consultant at E-Crime Bureau. Thank you so much. God bless you. We met at the Achimota Speaks last night. Top of the hour. That's all time will allow us for.